and it puts them in a bad spot, but you got to take the fights, Dave.
Yeah, eliminations are key here, especially in the early game where you have to assume the third party potential is not going to be as strong as we continue to move deeper into the match. By the way, we saw a couple of the new McLarens, the new F1 buggies, by the way. Those things are looking sweet. Metal, you got one of those bad boys yet or what, man?
Bro,
you got
let
one
me
yet?
tell
I know
you,
all the content
that was my most
video.
viewed stream, brother. The Formula 1 racing stream. That's a buggy. Yeah. That is a buggy skin right there. Can't you believe that? That is so cool.
So just to make sure we're talking about we talk about the Formula 1 McLaren right now in the game partnered with PUBG Mobile.
That's it.
That's incredible.
You could get it right now. One ticket for this one right here.
Hey man, I can be a Formula 1 racer. You know, my mom always said I couldn't be. I would never amount to that, but maybe I have a chance.
And you can own a horse.
And a hovercraft as well.
And a hovercraft as well. Man, I wonder what would be more expensive, that hovercraft or the McLaren? What do we think?
Definitely the hovercraft.
Yeah,
you think so?
Without
a doubt.
That's some military stuff right there.
This is next.
Hey, oh no, hold on. I was in the military, and let me tell you, some of our stuff seems expensive, and it is, but it's not the best quality. Okay, military grade sometimes means who's the cheapest one out there. Who can we hire to be the cheapest? I don't know, exporter, right?
Shout out to the Air Force right there. So XYQ, look, they don't got the hovercraft, fellas. They are swimming right now, and they are underneath the crosshairs of 0-2 right now with a 3-1 split. 0-2 got one of their squad mates up here on the cliff tops, pretty much playing the Guardian Angel, and the other teammates are just going fishing with some grenades here. And XYQ, they are just getting picked apart. There they go. The first team eliminated here in game number 1.
Yeah, tough break for XYQ, but for 0-2, great start, and a much better start than we saw last week. I want to see what this team is all about. You're talking about a star-studded roster, a roster that on paper is very scary. Crow, Capri, Foops, Baton, all 4 of those members you know and you love if you watch esports competition. So 0-2, in my opinion, is the strongest roster on paper, and right now the strongest roster when it comes to the standings. They're in first place. They've maintained first place. I don't think they've given it up just yet. So until someone dethrones them, well, they're the best. But X-Force still exciting. And for NRG, on to X-Force. This fight continuing from a little bit earlier, Metal.
X-Factor now eliminated, and this is what I was talking about earlier, that you can have one banger game, but it doesn't matter because you've got to stay that consistent throughout the entire tournament. So them getting eliminated that early on, their 5th place is just like, they're going to lose that. That 5th place is gone for them now. Someone might move up because the leaderboards, they shift so quickly with how big these games can be. NRG already got 3 elims, but only 2 up. 0-2 has 3 elims with 4 up. I think they had those really easy elims in the water there, which I cannot believe I saw that in an esports match, but that's crazy. That anybody, because this is a battle royale, anything can kind of happen.
Well, I think what was happening is that roster was trying to make a boat tape, right? They were rotating with the boats. They were trying to maybe get onto the backside of military, and 0-2 they just sniffed it out. They destroyed the boat. They had to then go for a swim. 0-2 gunned them down. And not smart play from 0-2. It's high risk, high reward. You get out there in the boat. You get out there for the boat tape. You lose your, source of transportation. You get destroyed. And Dave, you're spot on, man. I'm into military base. It is centered up onto military, and that's great for Ace of Spades, Dauntless, who we put a big narrative on in the beginning, right, who landed there. They may have not necessarily got elimination jits, but they're set up very nicely. They've got their loot. They know the lay of the land. This is their landing spot after all. I'm expecting a big A from those 2 rosters.
Yeah, big chillin'. They're going to be able to really lock down whatever focal point they want here before all these other teams start to slowly funnel their way into the new circle, as we are going to be looking at these other teams up in the north as I believe Farvoice Gaming, they had a winner chicken dinner yesterday that really helped them on the overall leaderboards. They're going to be rolling past Milta, but 0-2 once again with the strats. I mean, no better way to rotate than a glider tape. Why take the hovercraft? Why take the bridge? We are gliding to victory as I believe they might have 2, by the way. They might have 2 gliders, and they're going to be gliding in to the southern east side. Yes, they do. This is nice. 0-2. I am listen, last week I was a hater, 0-2. I apologize. I am slowly starting to become a fan here today.
Uh-oh, losing faith in Dauntless. Now here it comes.
No, they're still number
0-2.
1. I didn't say all that now, but 0-2, you know, shout out to 0-2.
What do you think, Metal? I hear you laughing as you see the gliders being used. What are you thinking?
You know, this is something that we do in a classic match. This isn't something that would be done in an esports $20,000 tournament. These things are death traps. But it's crazy to see, and I love seeing it.
It's fun. You know, it's funny. I forget who it was, Dave, but on the desk, someone was like really heavy. Was it Hot Jukes or was it you? Saying like, oh, this is going to be meta, right? But anyways, fight taking place. Golden Eagles against Ace of Spades on the bridge. And Man Bay jumps out, and that's going to be another one for Golden Eagle. So I believe that's 2 down for them. And Frady really has to stand up, 10 toes down, try and stay alive here. That nade could be deadly, and it is, in fact, going to be so. But hey, Kiddo's on the move. Golden Eagles wants revenge, and they're going to be successful potentially. But Kiddo's fighting. And Freddy's going to drop down. No, excuse me, Freddy's still up. Kiddo taking a ton of damage, but Ace of Spades holding their ground. They're looking good. Manby should be finished off, or at least get picked back up for Golden Eagles. A fight that goes to the wayside, and you got to give credit to Ace of Spades. They hold their ground, Dave.
Yeah, you definitely have to, but the fight's not over yet. Looks like Trolls was able to pick up his squad mate. Trolls in the buggy, DBS in hand, trying to get the rotate on to Versa. 2 frag grenades to be had here. Gonna have a little grenade battle. It's gonna come down to who can cook it to perfection, and that's a good one. Versa's gonna begin chunked down really low. Here comes Trolls with the follow-up here. The support from the bridge side. That's gonna be Blinky really putting the squeeze right now on Trolls.
Yeah, tough spot for Trolls. Blinky knows exactly where he's at. You really can't go anywhere if you're Trolls, and in fact, Blinky... he's... Okay, excuse me, he had to reload, but there it is. Good shots onto one. One more to clean up. Can he get it? I think so. Blinky in a great spot. The nade should be cooked to perfection. I know he'll get the med kit off, but he's going to end up falling. A great attempt for Golden Eagles, but I mean, really impressive fight there, Metal, from Ace of Spades, man. They held their ground. They didn't lose a single teammate, and now they got to set up for another challenge on the bridge.
I love watching bridge fights, especially with this kind of newer bridge. Like I said, they keep adding things, and I know they had this on the PC version for the longest time, these little side sections of the bridge. So I love to see people use that to their advantage to fight people on the ground or to cross this bridge that's so dangerous, especially in a big event like this.
And Ace of Spades doing a great job with the team fire. They're firing in all cylinders. INFERNO Esports, they're going to just have to full send it in. There's really nowhere you can go. I mean, you just got to fight it out. But the way Ace of Spades are set up is just really, really nice. The question is, how much utility do they have left? I see a nade being cooked up. Now, I like this off angle, though, from Pacao. That could actually be pretty beneficial. And Versa needs to keep his head down, Dave.
Yeah, Versa is just lasering, though, INF. INF cannot catch a break. They're trying to prone, but they're getting shot from all over the place here. Finally, Versa is going to be knocked down, but not out. Looking for the support from his squad mates, but there goes the Molotov. That should take out Versa. Blinky's going to be on the underbelly of the bridge right now. And INF, they're slowly pushing up this bridge and taking out Ace one by one.
Yeah, Versa was the linchpin. They take him out, and INF feels confident to push forward. They do exactly that. I thought Blinky might have been able to make a play. I'm curious why he went down low. I thought he was going to try and go up the stairs, but there would have been an INF member waiting for him in that moment. And now Man Bay says, enough is enough. I need to get out of here. At this point, we're in damage control mode. We got 2 players left. We need to get our placings. Hey, if INF wants to bridge that badly, Metal, they'll give it to him.
Bridge fights are... You are fighting tooth and nail for that bridge because there's nothing else you could do but cross it. Even when you're in the water, you're at such a big disadvantage, and there's no buildings close to this bridge to even take cover on. So everybody here is just surviving to get into the zone who didn't fly one of those... What are those things called? That they were flying?
The glider.
The gliders?
Yeah.
They used everything. Boats, gliders. They're rushing with their cars just to cross these bridges. I swear I never see stuff like this in esports, but I'm glad I'm seeing it in the Titan series.
Yeah, it's great. It's competitive on those bridges, especially when you got a military zone. Everybody rushes to get out of the blue zone. You've got 2 focal points. Once the boats are taken up, the gliders are out of the way. You just got to full send it, and you know there's always a risk of somebody setting up and gatekeeping you, right? And that was obviously the reality from Ace of Spades to INF. INF breaks through. TGames also making a mad dash. They just have 2 players, and INF, they're on the hunt.
Let's see, what can they do as the duo? Cat God with the Bison going for the pre-fire, trying to poke their squad mates or their opponents away, keep them at bay. But INF, they are not done. They are going to be rolling up this hill. Unknown with a little stripe UMP immediately connected on. But Cat God, the one-man wrecking ball right now, is going to be putting in a ton of work up there on the hilltop.
All right, so I like it. It's a bit of give and take. Ace of Spades, that wins the fight earlier against Golden Eagles, and INF takes down Ace of Spades, or at least a couple members. Now you got Cat God coming out of nowhere and destroying, right? A couple players from INF, and Kiddo now is getting into the mix, coming back onto INF to get revenge. It's a bloodbath on that left bridge. Meanwhile, things are a bit calm onto the right side of zone for Farvoice, right? And X-Force, who are kind of just chilling in the moment, but those bridges, they are just a hot point.
They're still going at it.
And they're still going at it, man. They are refusing to give it up, Dave.
I am surprised how INF are just holding it together. I did notice on the mini-map that Ace of Spades tried to get the pinch on them from both angles, but INF, they're just on their P's and Q's, and they are still surviving. Yeah, they lost a bunch of squad mates in the process here, Medalcore, but they're still up to a duo with 6 eliminations.
I feel like this is the quickest we've seen teams get eliminated in this series because of the way this zone shift was. This was such a heavy zone shift to the bottom of the map, and now there's only 22 remaining. I feel like this might be the quickest we've seen teams get eliminated. A lot of these teams, they survive until some of the very, very late games.
Yeah, they definitely do. I think you were commenting on that at the start of the broadcast last week, right? You're like, wow, there's so many teams left. And we'll see that. Specifically, we'll see that on Miramar, right? There'll be a lot of teams left in the end zone, but this has been a very violent series of events for several of the rosters out there. The fact is, we only have 6 more teams remaining, or excuse me, 10 more teams remaining. But regardless, who's it going to be? Who's going to be able to get first place? Well, the healthiest is going to be 0-2, who we saw a little bit earlier. Super Lazy Reflex, a roster that I want to see wake up and do very well. Last week, not going to lie, they kind of disappointed me, but they have cleaned up their act, apparently. They usually start off with a winner chicken dinner, at least historically, not only on broadcast, but also off broadcast as well. So they're going to be scared for iNCO. Well, unfortunately, they're going to be finished off earlier than they wanted. Only 1 elimination, not the best, but 3 more games to go. So what can we expect as the zone gets closer and closer, Dave? The team's now starting to come together. Third parties are going to become more rampant. And for X-Force, that's a lot of open space in front of them.
A lot of open space. I'm looking for a south shift right now. 0-2 doing the same thing. Not going to be going 0-2's way. They do hold down the south, though. They should be able to move up. They have a couple options. They're probably going to rotate on the edge out there to the west and get that high ground, or crash into Maryland NA right ahead of them. But I'm looking at 0-2. I feel like 0-2, they have the confidence in game number 1. If they can get that momentum going here in game number 1, they might be an unstoppable force here tonight. But we'll have to get back to that, because right now, X-Force, you were talking about them, they're making the push onto SLR.
They've got to make it in, but SLR wants to gatekeep them, but there's a lot of utility that's going to be thrown out. And Stars, well, he felt a little bit of it. Aleem might fill the second. Oh, it bounces off, so he's going to be safe for the time being. But Stars, like a zombie through the smoke, continually pushing up. And X-Force is feeling that pressure, but they got a pressure on back. The zone's going to start hitting for quite a bit coming up shortly. So X-Force knows they cannot waste any time. Plus, the longer this fight goes on, the more of an opportunity for a deadly third party potentially happening, right? So this is something that you got to finish off relatively quickly, but it seems as if everybody's kind of taken a step back. There's a bit of a respite, but watch out. Maryland are not far away. They can move up, but a great nade will drop down 1, and SLR might look to finish this fight here, Metal.
Oh, man. Yeah, X-Force is now losing that grenade battle that I was talking about earlier in the broadcast. The fact that those are so useful, and they still had that many grenades before this fight even started, is insane because we're already at the end game and they're chucking 5, 6, 7 grenades like it's nothing. I don't even know how did they get their ammo? Like, this is crazy.
Well, they had a lot of time, right, to loot up, especially based off of their landing spot. Aleem is holding on for dear life, Dave.
He's in the grass. They tried to run him over a couple times. We're going to pop up with there goes two! So close. But talk about the snake in the grass right there. Definitely cheering for him. That's going to open up for NRG if they wanted to crash into this little bull. I mean, they had sight lines on this. They were trying to third party this one, but it actually looks like SLR, they're going to be trying to get the reset over here. Oh, there goes 999 in the elimination feed. I take it back, but a limb. Holy cow. What a spoiler right there for SLR.
What a play that could have been. What a play it was, right? But to pick up all three would have been crazy. And they figured it was clear because remember, Kindness from SLR nearly ran him over, right? And just missed his like 3 times. And they said, well, surely it's clear, but it wasn't. God, Nate! Yes, it is.
My
and
gosh.
Good call.
Cha-ching.
Good call, Dave. You said NRG could challenge SLR. They do exactly that. Metal, this is how quickly your luck can change when it comes to competitive.
How do these guys have so many grenades? I just
You
don't
love
understand
it.
that. I love it. I love it. I tried what they're doing here, and this is way harder than it looks.
It's very difficult indeed. That's why they're here, right? They're here for a reason. Things are heating up. I'm loving this end zone, Dave.
Got the cactus head. He's got the chicken. Stars is the most stylish on the battlefield, without a doubt. And Stars is keeping the dream alive right now for SLR. We got the Scar, we got the shotgun, but XPX has more grenades over here. Gonna be looking for the follow-up one, the fadeaway. A little over the mark, unfortunately, and Star is still gonna be able to survive with their level 1 helmet.
Okay, so things cooling down a little bit, but for Stars, how far can he go? He's the last player alive. Metal, take a look at that right side of your screen, though. Look at how many elims, right, have been accumulated, how many points already. You know, there's not a lot of players left, but there's still an opportunity for a pretty massive game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised. I want to see 0-2 really show off what they've been doing off stream in these games today. So I'm glad to see them up. But NRG with 8 elims, this could be a big game for them if they survive throughout the rest of this fight.
Absolutely could be. 0-2. They're on the mind of Metal. They're in a good spot, though. I like where they're currently at. There's not a lot of teams they can gatekeep, maybe INF. But they're kind of stuck here, Dave, it seems, especially if the zone shifts away from them, which there's a high chance it might. I mean, where do they go? They got Maryland. They've got straight out of Nepal right there. You got INF moving in, too. Tough spot for all 4 of those rosters.
Yeah, Chills is going to be breached the compound by themselves right here. Their squad mates on the hillside. Still in the buggy. Little miscommunication happening right there. Looks like his teammate's going to be pulling on in as well. Why not? We already have 7 eliminations. We might as well attempt to go for this one once again. Going to be tossed out some smokes. We got the DVS. Got to avoid the sightlines through the windows, of course. But if they would have pushed together, they could have easily cleared out that one player on that second story together as a unit. But let's see. Can we get the job done now? Got to give it to them, though. They got their skin game on point, though. I mean, it matches the branding.
Without a doubt. It's immaculate. It's immaculate. Nice nade potential. It's still weird that they do push individually, Dave. We can touch on that later. I don't know why they did that. And now it's like, do you really want to push into a building that you know you're going to be surrounded at? Is it worth it? Do you prioritize the placement points now? But now I guess they really don't have a choice. You can't run away at this point. Now you just got to continue to fight it out. And he's kind of satisfied with this bottom level. Another nade being cooked up. He pushes forward. This might be good. And it will be. A player will drop. And I don't know. INF puts themselves in an impossible situation, Metal. But who knows? They might be able to make it happen.
You know, he did what his teammate wasn't able to do, and now he wins the compound because of a third party.
Yep. This is kind of wild. It blows me away. INF is still alive here. They're at 8, Dave, but I give them credit where credit is due. They win it. It was an awkward push, but somehow it pays off. But now where do you go? All the compounds are taken over. You got Maryland. You've got O2. You've got, of course, INF, right? There's teammates and enemy teams all around you.
Yeah, this is looking like a 0-2 game if I've ever seen one. Their compound up there in the north still going to be in play as well. XPX from NRG is going to have to make up their mind. Do we square off against Stars? Looks like we are, and Stars wins that engagement. XPX going to be out for NRG. So looking at the map, I mean, what stands out to you fellas?
Well, I like where Maryland's at, and I called them out at the beginning, given those scrims, being in second place. I think Maryland could be a sleeper team that we weren't necessarily expecting to, really rise up the ranks. They're currently in 10th place. They understand where they're at. My only concern, they're at 0 eliminations. Even if they do get the winner chicken dinner, they're not getting the most points. INF, curious how far they continue to go. You've got 3 teams, SLR, FE, INF, who are currently with just a single player, but Maryland, 0-2, definitely the standout team. And which also plays into what Metal was saying earlier. 0-2, you were happy with their positioning. You thought they were going to make a deep run. It looks like you were right, Metal.
Yeah, let's see what they could do. If Inferno can 1v3 them, this could be the end of their game. But we've got nades going back and forth from the two teams. He's going to have to clutch it up.
Oh!
And that clutch couldn't happen with those nades. That was a good amount of elims for them, though.
Not bad, right? And 11 points. They'll take that to the bank, Dave. And now we're down to our top 4. 0-2 Maryland have to take priority here. They've got the man advantage. They're currently tied at 3-3. But who knows? Super lazy Reflex, right? Farvoice, they can play spoiler.
Yeah, so 0-2, they got some crates to loot. They have some vehicles to use for that rotation. And they also have a giant boulder pretty much in between them and Maryland, who is going to be looking at their direction, anticipating the push, because Maryland, they're in the hard cover. They're big chilling. So I have to expect 0-2 is going to be looking to maybe crash them after they get the reset. That would be the play. But over here, the solo Nates from Farvoice trying to get that last elimination on Stars. But Stars is a survivor. Stars has been playing this game since the very beginning. I remember Stars from 5 years ago in competitive, and homie knows how to survive, and right now we're seeing a masterclass from Stars.
I became a big fan of him during the PMSL spring season, right? Watching him talk his trash on main stage, and he set that precedence day one. So I agree with you, man. You've been watching Stars a long time. I've only been watching him for about, I guess a year, 2 years, but big fan of what he does, big fan of what he brings to the table, and a big fan of Farvoice Nate. His rotate in, he realizes zone is going to shift. He wants to take priority on that. Meanwhile, Maryland 0-2 going at it, and Stars takes the opportunity to third party, takes down Foops. And now the numbers swing over towards Maryland, who is currently at 3 strong. Doesn't mean they're necessarily safe, because Stars, he doesn't care. He's not biased at all, Dave, right? He's got a lot of teams in front of him, and he wants all the kills.
Yeah, and Foops was trying to get the Molotov, trying to get the grenade in that second-story closet of the tower, and it's just such a challenge to get that ricochet bounce into this little closet. And well, Foops got caught slipping out there from Stars, like you said. But Maryland, they're looking pretty low when it comes to the utility department. I mean, no helmet right here on Becker. Toyota's vest is beat up. No grenades, no smokes, throwing out that last Molotov. And we're starting to see 0-2. They're starting to create a smoke tunnel. They're looking to make the push.
Oh, fired it out in the smoke. Casper has no idea where anyone's currently at. And Nate and Stars are just going to be so annoying in this position, Metal, because, they might be solos, but they're just looking to take anyone down they can. And Crow on the rotate will fall. What looks to be a great ending for 0-2 now starts to fall. And Metal, you can see Maryland, they're gaining their confidence. They're feeling good. They're going for the win.
And let's see what 0-2 or even the third party has to say about this for Maryland. 0-2 out. Now it is this now a 2v1? Nate has a chance to win this for his team.
That would be crazy.
Let's go, Nate.
And there's fans out there for Farvoice. They were supporting them at the beginning. Farvoice fans in chat, get loud. Nate's looking to make it happen. Car rotate, hoping he doesn't get shot at. Finds a boulder. And now this zone is going to collapse all the way down, but Nate is still applying pressure, applying damage. This would be such an incredible ending to Dave, what has already been an incredible game number 1.
Yeah, great reposition right there, but we really needed to take out Becker in that pre-fire right there. But we do have a couple grenades. Nate's going to be going for a follow-up, has one more in the pocket. might be able to spot the toes of his opponents. Becker forced to push from behind that rock to avoid that grenade. But look at this. Now they got the grenades from the side of Maryland. And Maryland coming in clutch with a winner chicken dinner game number 1.
Right on. Good job, Maryland. You look good during the scrims. Now you're looking good where it counts, right? During the qualifiers to go to the finals of the Premier Division for Titan Series Season 6. A great game, a good ending, and Metal was surprised, right? For 0-2, they looked so strong. They had the man advantage, but those compounds were all locked up. We knew they eventually had to fight, and once they did, Maryland, well, they were firing on all cylinders. They had great utility usage, and 0-2 could not make the rotate.
You know, I think that still was the best that we've seen them on broadcast. So I'm hoping we get to see a little bit more of that, especially like the fact that Maryland's like, you know what? Let me just go practice in scrims. Maybe we just need to change it up a little bit. And clearly, unlike what Dave was saying, those scrims are helping them.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, the third party's what took out 0-2 right there. Maryland, they weren't doing nothing but pre-firing shotguns into the air. But yeah, I mean, they got the win here. Shout out to Casper for really clutching out in game number 1. I mean, they got the win. But we're talking about practice, fellas. All right, practice
makes
perfect. Makes perfect, exactly. Okay, and look at what happened. They got a first place, 4 eliminations. Like, they take that to the bank, baby. I tell you what, if first place isn't an improvement from last week, then I don't know what is. Maryland finally gets a win. They look great. That's their first winner chicken dinner. They get 4 elims, and let's face it, the end zone wasn't given to them. Yeah, they had an opportunity to third party, but hey, they took advantage of their positioning, and that's exactly what you expect from a great team in order to be successful. But let's talk about, Dave, let's talk about that left bridge, man. That bridge was deadly.
Oh, it was a mess. We saw a bunch of teams utilizing to rotate, but honestly, the winner of the whole bridge scuffle was INF, right? INF came out on top. They had a bunch of eliminations, 8 to be exact. I feel like Ace of Spades, they could have played that one a lot better, but they were a little scatterbrained, in my opinion. They were playing like a 2-2 split almost the entire bridge camp fight. Yes, they still walked away with 6 eliminations, which is great for a game number 1. But I feel like if Ace of Spades played a little tighter together on that bridge, they could have been the victors of the bridge battles.
Yeah, and once Versa fell, you can tell that was the linchpin to push forward, and that's when INF really started to take advantage and take more positioning. This is the end zone, and where 0-2 started to falter, but Nate, I mean, Metal, we got to give him credit for Farvoice. You know, Nate was alone for a long time. Farvoice doesn't get second place without Nate's heroic performance.
I also see that this leaderboard, it doesn't have as much points because it was kind of spread across. We didn't get anybody above 10 elims, but with Farvoice, those 7 points, he really worked for that for his team. He carried his team on his back. He got them into second place. And I swear that if this is the same Nate I'm thinking about, I think he does this often. I think he's really good at surviving endgame if he's a solo player. And that's exactly what he did. He made it to second place, and he was a solo player in the top 4, and he was able to make it to the second place between 0-2 and Super Lazy Reflex, that's great for them.
Great for them indeed. But let's talk about INF. Dave, that aggression with the 2 players, it was reckless. I'm going to be honest with you, it's not a championship mentality or strat, right? Pushing it as individuals. But the fact is they get 8 eliminations and 11 points. Like, that's a big game for INF.
Yeah, but all those eliminations pretty much came from the whole bridge fight, right? That looked beautiful from INF. They were playing that one perfect, right? But then at the end, we saw the slight hesitation from one of the squad mates to push with chills, and they breached the compound one at a time, which was a huge mistake in my opinion. If they would have went together, I guarantee you they would have both survived until the late game, and who knows, they could have placed higher or maybe even won at that point just because they had so much momentum coming into game number 1.
Well, surprisingly, Maryland does not break into the front page. I think they started with 60 or so points, so they're getting close now to being on front page, but they were in 10th place. That game 1 win is going to put them in a lot more of a comfortable spot. But for 0-2, they take a pretty commanding lead now as far as I'm concerned, Metal. This is the biggest lead we've seen any individual team have, but take note how close it is. From 3rd place down to 8th, that is a 7-point spread, Metal.
That's insane, especially with X Factor. Like I said, if they had a bad game, it's going to push them down, and Farvoice pushing up into that 5th place. I feel like 0-2 does have a really, really good lead here, but one good game from, honestly, any of these teams that have up to 80 points, we can have one good game and they can be right on their inches, or right on their tail for 0-2.
Ooh, Maryland at 76, so they're relatively close. Okay, I'm liking what I'm seeing from them. And there it is, Dauntless breaking into top 10, Dave. The dream is still alive.
Dream's gonna be there, all right? I'm telling you. All right, we looked up the average cost of a horse. They're gonna be able to buy 3 horses at the end of this event, Dauntless. So you're gonna have to do like rock, paper, scissors, shoot to see who doesn't get the 4th horse, because we just simply can't afford it. But Dauntless, without doubt, once when they start showing up, right, they're still letting their opponents, you know, feel confident, but it's all about that mental fortitude, I'm telling you. And these players, they got it. So I'm going to be rooting for Dauntless until the very end here, fellas.
Tell you what, I'm going to be rooting for INF, man. They're in last place currently, but that last game was pretty exciting for them. I like the aggression. I like that they're willing to push the buck. How far can they go? Well, we'll find out. 16th, that's a far climb, but they just have to break into top 10. But even top 10 is like 50 or so points away. They need to get to work. 3 more games to go today. And next up, we're going to be hopping into Metal's favorite map. We're going into Miramar. So as we take a break, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to the Titan Series Season 6 Premier Division, week number 2. We're hopping into Game 2 onto Miramar. If it's anything like map number 1 on Erangel, man, it's going to be exciting. It really was just a bloodbath of map 1, map 2. Hopefully to say, follow us on socials if you haven't already. We keep that action going for Titan Series at titanseriesgg. And make sure you hit that sub button if you haven't already. We keep the PUBG Mobile action going, including those NA Pro Scrims taking place. That'll also be going tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same place right here. Make sure you don't miss it, especially if you're a big supporter of these rosters. Well, let's get into it. Miramar, Dave, there's the plane path. What do you take away from it?
Oh, it's going to be another solid game here, fellas. Game 1, what a great start to the evening. I'm not even going to lie. That was at least 0-2's best live show performance, right? Yes, they've had some really good games on non-show days, but I'm happy that we finally kind of got to see what 0-2 are cooking with here in this lobby, right? So definitely a big fan. They had 7 eliminations. That is going to be our first place team. Other teams kind of waking up, I guess you can say. NRG Galaxy, INFERNO Esports. So we definitely have a couple teams now on the Dave radar here tonight, fellas, as we head into Miramar.
At Dave radar, Metal, that's a real thing, man. When you get put on Dave's radar, magic happens, Metal.
Is his mustache the antenna for the radar? Is this what I'm getting at?
I don't know, Dave. You want to let your secrets go?
No, I can't, because then you know what? Then there's no reason to have me here anymore, fellas. So the secret stays safe. All right, the secret stays safe. But looking at Picado, I see 2 teams. I see iNCO. I see X Factor. Are we going to have some early skirmishes here on Miramar?
We can only hope. We can only hope. And I think we definitely will. X Factor got into a tussle with the muscle earlier. And, well, this time around, it looks as if they want to do just the same. Maryland also into a bit of an engagement against Ace of Spades, who needs a big game here. I felt they were cut a bit short last game, Metal. You know, they finished off in 6th place. That bridge hold was strong, but they ended up letting it go once versus finished off. So if Maryland takes them down, which could be possible, Metal, Ace of Spades could be in trouble.
This could be huge for either one of these teams, because after that really solid game that we just saw from Maryland, they could mess it up, that whole momentum that they had. But I'm telling you, those scrims, practice makes perfect. Shout out Maryland. Dave doesn't know what he's talking about. Don't worry.
Yeah, let's see him get wiped out here. All right, let's see him get wiped out here. All right, let's go. Ace
Maryland?
of Spades. No, Ace of Spades.
Oh, Ace of Spades. Let's see it.
No.
Wipe him out. Wipe him out. Ace of Spades.
Oh, here we
Oh my
go.
God, look at this.
Oh,
This is a
Versa.
Pow!
Versa.
Oh my!
Getting revenge on that choke point. He's mad he lost that bridge fight. He said we were finished off a bit too early, and now I'm going to make good on it, but tries to get sneaky, takes off more than he can chew. And Mambe also with the high ground, going to make things very awkward for Ace of Spades, if not already awkward. They're down to just 1 member, and I guess you put it out there. You said Maryland, they're taking it. Well, I think they just did. Well done, boys. Good prediction from the both of you. Dave, what do you think?
I think Versa is pissed right now. He's like, Mom Bay, where were you? Right, where? What are we doing right now, Mom Bay? Yes, the SKS, sure. But what are we doing, right? That was such an easy squad wipe right there for Ace of Spades.
Yeah, I think so. Now Mambe, all he can do is just look on. But granted, he does have that high grounds, which could be quite nasty, depending on how Maryland rotates out, depending. Okay, I don't know. Ace of Spades, they may be 1 member left, but I think they could be just fine. Now, X Factor, we talked about them early on, potentially getting into a bit of a fight with iNCO. That's still stagnated for a little bit, but it's Miramar. Anything can happen, and Meta, one of your favorite maps out there. You know, it tends to be a little bit slower, but I'm glad that we got some engagements early on.
You know, with esports, especially with these not being full 100-player lobbies, these are full lobbies with 64 pros. So it's crazy that with almost a huge chunk less amount of players, you can still get so much action on such a big map.
A lot of action, and it never stops really once it starts. For iNCO, X Factor, they're keeping their distance so far. I don't know anything's going to pop off just yet. Plus, they're within zone, so nobody has to rotate out at the moment. Everybody kind of setting up early on. As we know with Miramar, you want to get those hardcover POIs or get the high ground on the mountains. You can do one of those two things. You're going to be set up nicely for success. Looking at our mini-map, looking at our internal mini-map, Dave, are there any teams that stand out that's who need to still work their way in, like in Los Leones, right? On the outskirts, working their way in. What do you think? And hold up, we got a horse.
Yes!
Action.
Yes! This is why I love X Factor. Rooting for them. Look at this.
Look at
He's
this.
even jumping just to jump. He doesn't have to jump like that.
That horse has hops.
Look at that horse go. He's doing it just for the broadcast too.
Can we climb the
crazy.
cliffside with this?
If he
there's no
can,
way.
Find out.
oh, he
You
put his
can with
horse
the
away.
buggy.
He just his horse is gonna walk off the cliff. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
not
no,
like-
don't say that.
Don't say that.
I'm not saying it in a mean way. I'm saying that
Wow,
horse
man.
just auto moves.
Man, so
That's
horses
crazy
are
to
dumb.
hear from you. Yeah, that's crazy.
Sorry,
Horses are
you know
very
what?
dumb.
My love
They're
for
going to
horses.
walk off a cliff.
I'm emailing PETA.
Oh, pita bread.
PETA
Okay. Pita bread. X Factor. Oh, wow. Good
Okay.
shots on the ink. There's no way. Metal, how hard is it to control that spray like
That is-
Mazaro just did?
You know what, Mazaro? It's because he rode the horse. He got that extra confidence.
Oh,
So
of
my
course.
horse hatred of it jumping off a cliff, that horse gave him a little bit of motivation. So I'm happy.
Nice
He
off
named the
angle.
horse and
Nice
everything.
off angle.
Lucky the
Beautiful
horse.
off angle.
The
Beautiful
thing
off
is, though, I wanted to see X Factor, the trio in Picado, move a little quicker after that knock, right? Move a little quicker to make the collapse happen. And they're
geez.
kind of still taking their time. But going back to Ace of Spades, absolutely throwing here this game. This is going to be NRG trying to take him out, by the way.
Oh, he wants
Trying to get a
too
taste.
thirsty.
Yeah, there we go. NRG.
It's a rough
Free
game for
elimination
Ace of
right there.
Spades.
Rough game for Ace of Spades indeed, right? Not the same since that bridge battle on Erangel. Farvoice, well, they stayed alive for a long time in game number 1 because of Nate. This time around, X-Force seems to have their number, right? Let's see how far they can go. I mean, they do have 4 members up, but for
Yeah, they're
Sin,
coming.
I mean,
They're coming.
Sin is in a bad way.
Yeah, but Scottish is pulling up, and we saw last week Scottish could clutch it out. So if Zin could just stay alive a little longer to allow his squad mates to close the gap, we might be able to provide the support to X-Force. Zin is right there in the little crevices trying to avoid these grenades. The thing is, the teammates, they're taking... Scottish, stop moving. Scottish, hello. I was just praising you. Now you're looting. What's going on? I thought we were playing Saving Private Vizin out here, but we see him out there in the distance. Scottish is just chilling.
Yep. Looting
Not
up.
really, not really moving. Here comes Nate, though. We saw Nate
Here they
last game clutch
Yeah.
it out. We got to save our teammate here. We know exactly where X-Force are.
Free point on the roof, too, on the left. He's going to be nasty. Aleem as well could also keep Farvoice at bay. Free point,
Wow.
utilizing that roof, as I said. That's going to make it tough for Farvoice. They might have to give up Sin. In fact, one's already going to be down. And that is, or one's going to be very weak, excuse me. That's going to be Sin. And, okay,
Oh,
so
knee
Sin's...
tap action.
He said, if I can't get help, I'm going to be my help, and he will finally fall. But good effort from Sin. And now Scottish has to try and pick up the slack. At this point, I think it's over with. Leave Sin and just play later on. Play gatekeeper role, man.
What
Look
would
at
you
this.
do, Metal? What would you do, man? Would you
I would
get on the
definitely
best
not ride that moped.
Yeah.
So
Where's
horse
the
is
horse?
fine, but
It's
not
because they don't
Yeah,
have
where's the-
horses. They don't have horses, so
Look at that. This is gonna get him killed, bro. Look at him go. He's just trying to escape.
Scottish.
That's right.
Them Scottish things, huh?
Scottish. Actually French, by the way, which is
Actually
again
French.
still waiting on that book to be written. I want that lore.
How's he even driving this thing while
Scottish
betting
has
himself?
won more prize winnings than all of us combined in esports.
You don't know my history.
Well, we talked about Scottish's last week, and it was pretty impressive. So
It was very impressive. I think I've made probably $120. But does that beat Scottish?
Definitely not. I think we
Okay,
said
well, then he's
last
made more.
week he had like 300K at least in prize.
He's got quite a bit.
Yeah, so
He's
definitely
incredible.
a player who knows his stuff here in PUBG Mobile. So I guess
That's right.
letting Vison die there in that situation was the right call. You know, the bait. So they did pull out. They're still going to be alive as a trio. All these players looking to find a position now in the new circle. iNCO still going to be locked down here in Picado. It looks like X Factor finally going to be pulling off, not wanting to mess with Papa Blue, especially after that new circle shift to looking at the actual play zone here, fellas. SLR, they're in a prime position. Also looking at TGames in a good spot. So I do like the call for X Factor to pull off, but not all of them pulled off. They did leave one squad mate behind.
And I wonder if they do. Obviously, it's intentional. And Mazzaro maybe looking to take on the entirety of iNCO Gaming, kind of be a sacrificial lamb potentially, which would be kind of crazy. But it also kind of doesn't make sense because iNCO's in front of him and he has to go forward
He probably
in
lost
order
the horse.
to break Papa Blue. Maybe he did lose the horse.
Yeah, it ran away, remember?
Oh, if they come straight into him, Mazzaro might be able to make some magic happen. And for iNCO, they're going to have to pull away. Mazzaro applying that pressure. You know, Metal, this whole situation's awkward for everyone.
Super awkward. Where's his horse, and why can't he use the horse flute? Or the horse whistle, whatever it was last
I
time.
forgot about the horse flute.
I did too.
We need it. We need the horse flute right now. That's how. That's
There's
how
the
he
horse!
makes out of here.
It didn't jump off the cliff. W horses in the chat.
Horse.
W horses, man.
Can you horse flute it from that distance though, Metal?
Honestly,
That'd be crazy. He needs it now.
I need to use more horses myself. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
old
That did not work out for X Factor.
So,
And now they're coming back. They're doubling back as
what
well.
are we?
Oh, and they
I'm
lost
so
another
X
guy.
Factor are
No.
doubling back. Chiffon, where I know you're like the coach. What's the Chiffon? We need some coaching out here.
Yeah,
What
let
happened?
Dave coach the team. Let Dave be the coach.
First of all, don't abandon the horse. Number one rule. All right, in
In
competitive.
esports specifically.
We need a
A
esports
bike?
flute to call Dave. Esports flute to call Dave. We need help. Get me
Yeah.
out of this situation, Dave. What can I do better? And he's like, it doesn't matter because you're not Dauntless and I don't care.
Yeah, Dauntless are gonna win everything here. So.
That's right. Now this is weird for X Factor. Why you leave your
That was
teammate, your
weird.
teammate dies, and then you come back, and now you're in a bad situation. iNCO is they just wanted to get out of here to begin with, but Maraza was like, no, I don't really care. 0-2 though. Now this is a serious team. They have a great game number one. They're already in first place, and they've got a 21-point lead over everyone, which is quite significant given the fact that, third down to eighth place, 7 points separated all of those rosters going into to game number two here on Miramar. Foops keeping the players at bay. They're riding the edge of that zone. When you think about these four players, are they four players that are very aggressive? Do they like to play that edge role? Are they a mixed bag? What do you know about them?
Oh, I'm liking what 0-2 are doing right now, but I'm looking at Dauntless to really get that good team fight in the pocket to get that momentum going and that confidence that we know they have as a competitive team. I mean, we've seen these players at the top levels of competitive. It's all about just getting it going, right? And I feel like they really haven't had the opportunity to get it going. And to be able to go up against 0-2 and possibly wipe them out, that's all the confidence you need, honestly. I mean, that's the number one team in the lobby. But going back to a man with a lot of confidence, we got Stars on the high ground, was trying to go up against INFERNO Esports, but was taken out in the process.
Inferno, though, has been aggressive. We saw that represented in the last game. They're looking to do the same here. As one SLR member will fall, and Inferno Esports could very well win this engagement. Now, mind you, NRG fell just a second ago. That is 2 back-to-back games that they wish they could take back, right? Granted, 6 place 8 eliminations. That's great for game number 1, but they needed to follow that up with a great game number 2. They now don't have that opportunity. Now, for Pig, he had some standout moments last week. Looking for him to do the same here, Metal.
Yeah, let's see if they're able to win this fight with all the nades already being tossed out before the fight could even fully start. Pig wasn't even able to shoot his bullets.
Well, Kindness is driving probably the biggest hit marker vehicle you could possibly imagine.
We're seeing the
Some
best
wide
vehicles. We're seeing the best vehicles. We've seen a bicycle, a
That's
moped,
right.
a ramen bus, whatever
That's
that was. And we've seen hovercrafts. Like, is this
Yep.
esports or are we racing cars at this point? We've seen F1 cars.
F1.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
PUBG Mobile, they do it right. We know how to have fun here, especially when things are getting serious. Now, for Kindness, he could do a lot of damage here. I'm feeling another Aleem situation, Dave.
Yeah, he can, and that's why he popped out the bus a little early to not give out those sound cues. Going to be pulling that grenade. I don't think this grenade will be successful. Got an underhand. I don't know. Might be letting it cook. He's going to be tossing that one. Might be a little too late. Yeah, so I think if I'm Kindness, the last one alive on the squad, I'm going to want to play just a snake, honestly. And tossing this grenade, well, that's going to alert Inferno that, hey, we still got an opponent behind us. So that surprise factor no longer there. Kindness is going to be sliding down the hill with the UMP. It doesn't matter because
No
Kindness
way!
connects onto 2 players of Inferno.
All right, Kindness, he's making something happen, and I'm excited for him. That's going to be 2 players down, but he can't get the full finish on the one to his left. We were worried about the nades giving away his spot, but Kindness, he doesn't need the surprise attack. He's ready to go full city. He eventually falls, but what an effort that was. Metal, we have seen some heroic plays from individuals today. Aleem, Kindness, right? It means that regardless, if there's one player left, you gotta keep the eyes in the back of your head, man. Keep your head on a swivel, brother, because Metal, anybody can take you down, and all 4 of you can fall very quickly.
Yes, we have seen already in just this one match last game, and then this match where there's just solo players putting in work for their team. And when I'm saying put in work, they are really, really putting in that work. We saw that guy land prone, waiting for the perfect moment. Shotgun, almost getting a triple with that shotgun. Like, you got to be careful because those solo players, they either got to survive or they got to clutch it up. And Kindness almost clutched it up right there. He did get an elim for his team. So he actually got an extra point for his team. I agree with Dave, though. He could have played the slow battle right there.
Yeah.
He could have tried to survive. But, you know, he's on broadcast. Ego, got to ego it out. You know what I'm saying? Got to get those clips.
Dave, I'll let you take this one. It's Dauntless versus Shining Legacy.
They're just getting put through the blender right now. They got sandwiched between 2 different teams. They lost 2 of their squad mates on the push to the Death Shack right now. Now you got not 1 but 2 separate squads trying to get their grenades through the little windows. Dauntless trying to buy themselves some times with the smokes to hopefully avoid a grenade landing in this shack. But 0-2 on the outskirts. They're going to want these eliminations. Klaus with a little fadeaway. Free fire through the smokes with the UMP.
Shots.
There goes one. Here comes Caprice with the support UMP. Just bullets ringing out in all types of directions.
Oh!
Dauntless aren't going down without a fight.
Klaus isn't. An opportunity to pick up maybe another one.
Oh,
Great shots! He's going to drop a second. The Death Shack. Well, maybe the
Oh
Death
my
Shack
gosh!
A third one will also fall. And the 4th just above him. He's going for gold. Flames out. Doesn't connect. Just behind. It's going to at least stop off an exit route. Klaus, he's on fire. He's feeling himself. And he wants the full finish. Great shots. Good damage. Can the 4th fall? Just a sliver of health. And he will get the job done. I cannot believe it. 0-2 is out. Klaus goes absolutely monumental. And Dauntless on fire. Metal, welcome to esports, baby.
Is this what Dave was talking about? Where have they been? That was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. And those are the skills that when I watch clips like that, I'm like, that's esports. That's something that I can't even move my fingers fast enough. Did you see how he was using the tiny sliver corner to 3v1 that team? And once, you know, he got that momentum, he got that energy, he got the pump, he was pumped up, he started pushing. He's like, this is a clip for Twitter. This is a TikTok clip. Sadly, I think he got 3. One of his teammates clutched it up for him. But without a doubt, that was one of the best clips we've seen in this Titan Series season.
For sure.
Oh,
for
without
sure.
a doubt. I mean, Dave, it's heroic. I thought Klaus was dead. Us as casters were looking at that. I know you're even thinking he's dead, right?
Whoa,
For him to win that fight.
What are you talking
yeah,
about?
I know you don't play. You did not know Klaus was going to pick up 3.
I've been saying Dauntless since day one. How are you going to say I was thinking they were going to die?
So Klaus was picking up 3 from that shed, Dave. Come on.
Klaus was picking up 4, and then his teammate Rose stole the last one. But honestly, that was a throw from Shining Legacy, because Shining Legacy, they were in the prime position, a third party, the entire fight between Dauntless and 0-2, but they just crest a little too far over their hilltop, and I believe they got third party by your both favorite team, Maryland. So Maryland actually coming in clutch right there, kind of helping Dauntless essentially to be able to allow Klaus to pop out of that death shack and take the 1v3. But that was probably, like Metal said, the best clip so far in this whole event.
Oh, without a doubt. There's nothing. I mean, Aleem had it before writing game number 1, but nah, Klaus gets it done. That is incredible. And from the Death Shack in that corner, he's getting naded, he's getting third-partied. Just a beautiful series of events. Incredible job. Let's see how far the duo can go now. They at least have locked down a 7th place. Now, got X-Force, XYQ, and a battle is starting to potentially culminate. Now, meanwhile, you also have Straight Out of Nepal, who's going to be on the potential flank. This is Miramar. Third parties are going to happen. Metal, there's a lot of open space, right? And if you don't got one of those hardcover POIs and you choose to go to the mountainous region, you always got to be watching your back.
100%, but at least it's Miramar, because only on Miramar will you see crazy terrain give you enough space to have cover in these giant open fields like this. There's tons of rocks, there's tons of hills and mounds that you can use that cover as if it was a building.
All right, Wolf, here's your chance to make it happen. Can you pull off a Klaus? Can it be done? I'm not doubting anybody at this point. I mean, really, I'm a huge fan, and that's a great start there, Dave.
Nice grenade right here. Wolf going to be pushing up, trying to get the follow-up. This is going to be X-Force, who currently has 7 eliminations. Lim with the MG3, the squad wiper out here. Look how fast that thing rips. But the grenade will be landing right in the lap of a Lim. And, well, only one more squad mate left of X-Force, and they are on full retreat mode.
He's dipping, he's gone. Great series of events, a really nice push from Straight Out of Nepal. Good utility, as we expect, and while the members of X-Force will be finished. Now, granted, a great game still, though, right, Metal? I mean, they have one solo left. He's had to run away, but the reality is they still are at 7 points, the most in the lobby, and that's based off of their elims that they were able to accumulate just a little bit earlier, currently sitting at 7. They've at least got a 6th place position at the moment, so the longer they stay up, that's all the more points, Metal.
We can see another Nate situation with the X-Force team. I mean, who else but the solos are the main focus of today's games? Because the solos are the ones who are putting in the clutches.
Without a doubt. And it's exciting. This is giving us some more action, honestly, than a lot of our PMSL matches, right? I mean, I'm really enjoying the aggression and the confidence from these players. Now, for Maryland, they've had some great moves before, but for Klaus, I don't know. Klaus has pulled off some heroics, and I'm kind of rooting for him here against my favorite team of Maryland. And you also got Straight Out of Nepal versus XYQ, Dave.
Klaus with the P90, but here comes Straight Out of Nepal. 3 members still up, trying to take out the 4 squad mates of XYQ in the compound right now. XYQ 0 eliminations, hoping to get a squad wipe right here. Frankie tossing a couple smokes, trying to provide the support to his squad mate Wolf in the front line with the shotgun. Frankie, though, walking right into the DBS, and just like that, they crashed his compound and got eliminated by XYQ, taking up 3 eliminations here.
3 limbs. XYQ looking good, poised for potentially the end game here, and a team waking up. Super curious how far they can go. For XYQ, they were at 0 eliminations for the longest time, but as we know, when it comes to esports, when it comes to competitive, a lot of elims are gathered in the end zones, and that's where XYQ is starting to wake up. And also for TGames, 4 players still alive. Metal TGames, right? They've been kind of quiet, but seems like they're willing to get loud in map number 2.
And a team like TGames can, if they have one really solid game, that could push them so far up on the leaderboards, that gives them momentum they need. And sorry to say, I've been hating on Dauntless this whole time, but this is the momentum that they needed. And I'm not rooting for anybody besides, you know, honestly, I like rooting for people who are the underdogs. And I feel like Dauntless been hyped up by Dave. They kind of were the underdogs, but now maybe this is the momentum they exactly needed for week 2.
Without a doubt.
Pushing
Dauntless.
themselves up on the leaderboards.
Dude, they're looking great. Like you said, going up the leaderboards, they already broke into top 10 right there in that number 10 spot, which was previously occupied by Maryland at the start of the day. Dauntless is on the come up. They're starting to feel themselves. And Dave, I might be hopping on the train for Dauntless, man. I might be hopping on the train.
Yeah, it looks like Papa Triste from TGames was able to take out Becker, leaving Casper the last one alive for Maryland. And, well, finally, Dauntless able to take him out. So Dauntless with the duo up there in the north, they're going to have to fight up against 2 complete squads, essentially. You got XYQ in the east and TGames in the west. So it is going to be a uphill battle. But like Metal said, they are feeling it here this match.
Indeed. X-Force can still go pretty far, though, with Vic up. He ran away. He needed to. But with him being center zone, excited for him. I really am. And you know, Meadow said it best. It's about the solos. The solos are the ones, the shining stars today in the competition for the Titan series. And Vic is going to be no different. I think he can make an impact here and maybe even solidify a top 3 for his roster. Because after all, I think a couple of fights might be breaking out. You know, T-Games versus Dauntless, who's going to be just down below. Granted, Klaus got the shack, right? We know he loves his shacks. He's got the vehicles. So he's in a great spot as far as I'm concerned. But T-Game's on that high ground. It's going to be deadly, just like that nade. I mean, talk about threading the needle metal.
And then here comes the push on the side from T-Games. They know that they're down there. I don't think anybody knows where X-Force is. Look at that. X-Force is actually getting really close to the other team, XYQ. But again, if we could see these teams that don't have full squads make it anything beyond these 2 teams that have full squads, that's a victory for them.
Huge. Absolutely. All right.
That was the longest grenade toss I've ever seen, too. And,
it's like a mortar.
Thinking the same thing, but it looks like this is literally going to be the death shack because then you got T-Games and also XYQ Trick going to be looking right on top of this shack, essentially. Downrange. There goes the Molotov. Dauntless just trying to toss out some smokes to really eliminate any type of sight line so that way they can survive a little longer. But T-Games, they definitely want to get these elimination points in the shack before looking ahead in the play zone. And XYQ, they're happy with this. They're just going to be gathering the information, maybe third-partying this, but essentially they're big chilling on that east side while T-Games does the heavy lifting over here up against Dauntless.
Yeah, and you know, the only difference here for Dauntless getting out of this spot is, they have the shack, they got the vehicles, but they don't have the zone anymore, right? So they have to go forward. They have to get out of Papa Blue, and that means going straight into T-Games, who already have the high ground or are holding them down. You know, for T-Games, or excuse me, for Dauntless, they're praying somebody third parties T-Games long enough for them to break free and get up onto the hill so they can maybe challenge, you know, up close and personal where they feel comfortable. But it's such an impossible situation. You know, there's no way Dauntless is able to make it out of this situation. Klaus is down. Rosé last alive now. XYQ on that off angle too. Now, this is the third party that could happen. So for Rosé, maybe he could break free. TG is now gone, or it should be one's down. I don't know. Dave, is this the chance Rosé's been waiting for?
Nah, it's going to be too much of a challenge. I mean, you're by yourself. You're downhill. Here comes the blue zone. Also going to be applying pressure in stage 8. Not a lot of meds to work with, so I might even just deny the point right now. Yep, there it goes. That's the play. I mean, they had a great game. Dauntless, shout out to you guys.
Game indeed. Star-studded play. So now you got the solo of X-Force going against the full squads of XYQ and T-Games. Metal, you see all 3 rosters. You see Vic hiding out in the car. Who's taking game number 2?
This is, you know, if X-Force can perfectly time this, I'm rooting for the underdog here.
All
He's
right.
trying his hardest to survive. But making it into the top 3, good for him for that, because that is already difficult with 2 full squads. In between him, he literally sat there that whole time in between all this fighting. And, you know, sometimes in a game like this, it's so hard to be patient. It's pretty scary, but he did it. And now patience has paid out for him. He's got the high ground on everybody. There's the smoke grenade launcher.
That zone is going to collapse in, though, isn't it? So he's going to have to push in, which is straight into XYQT game. No matter which way you cut it, it's not going to be a comfortable situation for Vict, and he might even go the Rose route from Dauntless, right, and deny the elimination. But who knows? He might choose to die on his feet, Dave.
Going to be hitting that last second heal. Going to be popping up. Papa Triste right there. Did get some nice shots on a Papa Triste. And that's going to open this up for XYQ. Papa Triste was going for that heal. XYQ full on sending it with their vehicles. Taking full zone dominance right now for the center position. And honestly, that play from the solo was the spoiler for TG. But it's not over yet, fellas. It's not over yet, but it was a big play.
Well, here's Sour.
Never doubt a solo.
Never doubt a solo, and never doubt Sour. Full sending with the buggy. His last stand here to try and get anything going, and XYQ will hold their ground, take a victory, and a much-needed one. I looked through my notes, and yeah, this is XYQ's first winner chicken dinner. Welcome to the winner's circle, and a great opportunity for them to jump up the standings. 7 eliminations. XYQ, Dave, coming out of nowhere with a big win.
Yeah, another bottom team here today, winning a pretty solid game. 7 eliminations plus the winner chicken dinner points. Valak with 4 of those eliminations. So shout out to XYQ. And honestly, that win comes down to them just recognizing timing, right? They heard the shots from the solo from X-Force. We didn't see any knocks, but they assumed that that solo put in a lot of damage, which he did do. And immediately, no hesitation, They just pushed with their vehicles, right? And that was the game-winning play.
We started off hot and heavy, right, Meadow? It was Ace of Spades being challenged by Maryland, and, well, we know how it ended up unfolding.
Yeah, a lot of these teams that are taking on these early fights seem to be teams that are trying to push their way up on the leaderboards, and it can be extremely dangerous for them, especially in a situation like Ace of Spades or X Factor, where they're losing so many teammates so early on, or getting wiped so early on, they don't even have a chance to get more elims or anything like that. So this could be super detrimental to their placement on the leaderboards, and you know, each game is so important, especially this early on.
We're getting closer to that shack play, which I know is going to be coming up. Kindness, if he doesn't blow his cover, does it get him a better shot at winning this fight, Dave?
I think surviving, sure, maybe even catching them a little more off guard. I didn't really see the value in that grenade right there. Kindness still clutched it out with some nice shots, but yeah, could have played a little more passive for sure, without a doubt. But this is the play of the tournament so far. Yes, they kept running past the open doorway where bullets were whizzing out of, sure, but Klaus was doing a great job at timing those shots as well, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. Utility, everything. I mean, even in this spot, you can't count them out, right? They've got an uphill battle, but they fought it out to the very end. Rose denies the elimination, and well, obviously XYQ were able to clean up that buggy play. Sometimes you just got to dodge a vehicle at the very end of the game, and the XYQ was able to do so. Another explosive game, loving today. High energy, high octane, enjoying every moment of it. XYQ enjoying the winner chicken dinner with 17 total points. That's going to be a great boon for them to be able to jump up the leaderboards. TGames as well, you know, a team that has yet to get a winner chicken dinner. However, they do get very close with that second place, and well, for X-Force and Dauntless, they've got to be happy with their performance. But Metal, let's talk about some realities here, right? Super Lazy Reflex, a team that has some great members on their teams. Unfortunately, not getting anything going today. They usually get a winner chicken dinner at some point, but today they're far from it.
Yeah, and it's not only Super Lazy Reflex. We're seeing 0-2, iNCO Gaming, INFERNO Esports, Farvoice Gaming. We're seeing a lot of teams that should be on the other side of this rankings on the bottom half. And this could be super detrimental to these teams, especially 0-2. If they keep getting eliminated early on and only getting a few points, there'll be teams that'll be able to gain that first place slot from them.
Yeah, but they do have a great game one, and that's the best thing about 0-2 in the moment. But they are showing a little bit of inconsistencies, which, Dave, that's where things start to get a little bit scary and an interesting conversation. You go into the finals, right? You don't have many chances to mess up, right? And be inconsistent for 0-2. I'm not ringing the alarm bells yet, but there are teams that are definitely hot on their heels.
Yeah, so you got the candle. So I mean, that's all the lights we need from you today, hopefully.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, we're looking at 0-2, game 1, 7 eliminations, game 2, 5 eliminations. So as long as they're consistent with getting some points on the board and not the goose egg, they're going to be just fine. Remember, the goal is top 10. Yes, you could finish number 1 here in the qualifiers, but it honestly doesn't matter. Just top 10 is what gets you to that next round. And then in that next round, that's when it matters, right? That's where the money comes into play. So that's where you want to be number 1.
Well, I hate to bring him up, and in Hyper, right? Number 1 during the qualifiers, but always the curse, right? Going into the finals, they would drop the ball. 0-2 still has a great lead, 23 points over that of iNCO Gaming, who's still willing to catch up. The score is still very close, though, 3rd down to 8th place. Not a lot of switching up here, but still some teams consistently on the top page, Metal. It makes sense, right? We see a lot from NRG at times. Maryland especially have stepped it up today, right? They're the biggest mover, I believe, going from just outside of top 10 or in 10th place up to 7th, and they could go even further. I mean, look at that gap from 7th to 3rd place. They could be top 3 by the end of these 2 games.
Yeah, and it's crazy to see so many of the top teams for the total standings. They had such a bad game last game, and it was a lot of these teams: Farvoice, Ace of Spades, 0-2, iNCO Gaming. A lot of these teams were on the other half of the leaderboards, the bottom half. So, these are the games that these lower teams like Maryland, that's what they need to continue to rise their way up to the top 3.
All right, well, let's go to page 2 and see who's in trouble. I digress. Super Lazy Reflex in 9th place. They had a great game number 1, a decent game number 1, I should say, and okay game number 2, but still want to see consistency there. They're a team that I want to see excel in the qualifiers because I want to see them do very well when it comes to the finals. And for Dauntless, they're holding on to 10th place, but again, even from 10th place up to 3rd, Dave, it's very, very close.
Listen, that's 10th place. That was a 7-point game with only 50% of the team. All right. Imagine if they got 100% of the team. That's what I'm talking about. All right. I need to see this team start to just pick up the steam. And right now we saw a glimpse of hope, a glimpse of what Dauntless are about in that last game. So, they lost to their squad mates on that rotate. They got sandwiched. Unfortunate, but I guarantee you, if they had the whole squad up right there, that could have been an easy win for Dauntless. All right,
that could have been a 30-point game, 30 elimination game from Dauntless. I don't know, man. I believe in Klaus, and Dauntless is looking scared today. In fact, I lit the candle for them. Okay, the candle is for Dauntless. I'm on the Dauntless train. Hey, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll be hopping into map number 3. We're going to Sanhok, and that means we're going to be seeing some epic battles. You do not want to miss out. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to the Titan Series Season 6 Premier Division Week 2. We're hopping into map number 3 on good old Sanhok. And, well, a lot to watch out for. More specifically, that Ruins fight, which always takes place and really never disappoints, okay? And it's not going to disappoint this time around. I'm excited for it, and we're going to get right into it. I'm Taylor Reflections Noble, of course, joined by Mustache Dave and Medalcore. We've had an exciting day so far. I hope you're enjoying it. I see you getting loud out there for your rosters. SL, Farvoice, right? Bella out there. Shout out to you getting pumped up for Klaus. How could you not? After a wonderful 3-piece from the Death Shack, he could have picked up the 4th if his teammate wasn't so stingy and greedy and decided to pick it up. But it's a team effort. He's probably okay with that. But here we are going into Sanhok. What's a roster you want to see step it up, Dave? Because this is map 3. They don't have that much time left today.
Leader of Dauntless, right? I want to see what they can accomplish here if they got the entire squad alive. We saw the play of the tournament last game from Klaus, so you already know they're going to be feeling pumped up, fired up, or whatnot. But Metal, I mean, same question, Metal. What team are you looking at here this game?
I want to see Farvoice Gaming and Nate make another really good run for first place. I feel like they're really high up there on the leaderboards, and if they have one really solid match, that could be a make it or break it for them to the top 3.
Farvoice, they've had some moments to shine, and they make things exciting. They really do. They really do. Even if they're, few and far between against, Nate, Scottish, right? Here we are, NRG versus Maryland. Maryland, in my opinion, needs to win this. They're on the up and up. They're on the come up. They're very close to breaking into potentially the top 3. But if they lose this fight, they miss out on this map, well, they could be in trouble. And already off to a rocky start. Becker's down. NRG has the man advantage now, 4v3. And the remaining members from Maryland need to be on high alert, Metal.
Yeah, I feel like this could be a super dangerous situation for Maryland if they don't get out of this, or if they get out of this with a little amount of teammates. They already lost 1, so this changes up their game. But it looks like NRG is getting third-partied because people know that there's already a party going down at Ruins. I don't get why I don't get why Ruins be so hyped, but this is it. And that's it for Maryland. The first team to be eliminated.
But not it for NRG, because Dave, INF, they're moving in.
You made such a great point. Maryland, we're on the up and up, right? And you guys are both saying, Maryland, the scrims, they're awesome. Listen, all right. Did they do that in scrims? Because if they did, I would hope that they wouldn't repeat what happens in scrims, right? There's no reason for a team to be hot dropping Ruins. We saw that all last season in PMSL. It doesn't work out for anybody involved. And I love that, you started this reflections with they're on the up and up, right? That was such a key takeaway because they were, in fact, gaining momentum. Game 1, game 2, they were getting eliminations, they were getting placements, and then come into match number 3, they decide to hot drop another squad. It doesn't even matter who the team is. The fact that you're putting yourself in that situation is just complete RNG. You never know what you're going to drop on, what weapon you're going to get, where your opponents are going to land. It's just a complete flop, right? There's no reason for that. And, well, boys, I'm sorry to tell you, I don't care what's happening in scrims. They killed their momentum, all right? That was it right there. So, Maryland, see ya.
Dave, I love the banter with you, but you're 100% spot on. You really are, right? Maryland, they don't need to do that. I love the Ruins fight. I'm going to continue to hype it up. I want to see it every single time. Why? Because it's a fight right off the rip. Who doesn't like our early initial, especially as a spectator, which we are, right, at the end of the day. But Maryland didn't have to do that. And in order to be consistent, in order to win championships, you've got to be able to sniff that out and be willing to put your ego aside and understand, hey, it's time to play smart. Let's get looted up. Let's get kitted up. Let's play for zone. Let's play for positioning. It's not all about the flash in the pan, early engagements. It's about being smart and playing for the longevity of your roster. And speaking of longevity, Farvoice, a team that you just pointed out, Metal, I love where they're currently at. They're center zone. They've got Paradise basically by themselves, depending if X-Force decides to move in. But Farvoice, I'm feeling a good game for them, Metal.
Yeah, and that's a great place to get some solid loot, get 32 grenades in your inventory, ready to go for endgame. I am surprised with Sanhok that these teams are dropping on each other and fighting each other because, like you said, doing that so early on, it's so dangerous, and it's not the most smart move, especially on a map that doesn't have easy ways to get out of situations. But it looks like Nate taking out a couple of X Factor. What's going on there? That's crazy.
Yeah,
Big Nate.
Farvoice.
Big Nate.
Farvoice putting in some work. But yeah, see, a vehicle like this is rare on Sanhok. So I feel like when teams are landing on each other, there's no quick escape method. These are the very few vehicles that are on this map, because it's just more of a, hey, let's just run around kind of map. There's very few vehicles that spawn on this map, and yeah, just taking that early fight's just super dangerous. There's no way to get out of it. You got to win it or you got to lose it.
Luckily, NRG did win it with 4 strong, and that's going to be great. They need it because, again, INF are moving in on them, and eventually that fight is going to go down. Not just yet, but eventually it will. Not to mention, Super Lazy Reflex is also in the vicinity, so you've got a lot of activity still on that dead end of the map, and, well, they've all got to rotate up basically the same route to get up to where boot camp is at, right, to get within that zone. So their lives are going to get a little bit more difficult as the game continues, Dave.
Yeah, their lives are probably already difficult, because where they are on the leaderboard. But yeah, it's going to become even more so. And talking about difficulties, we still got a couple squads locked in horns. Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to see. INFERNO Esports, they did slowly creep their way up behind NRG in runes. And Pika going to be right behind this boulder with the M4. I'm looking for Pika's squad mates with the support. Looks like Paige is very far from his teammates in the front line. And to make matters worse, SLR are also in the general area here. So Pika kind of on a solo mission almost. Yeah, his squad mates are near, but if Pika was to take this engagement, I guarantee you Pika would be instantly turned on and flushed. So if I'm Pika, if I'm INFERNO Esports, I'm going to be looking to evacuate the area, not essentially take this fight, but evacuate. The only reason I believe they're still, this is it. The only reason I believe they're spending so much time out here is because Chills is in the pathway, right? Into the zone for NRG. So I think they're trying to stay back to try to support Chills when that engagement does happen, which I like, but your communication's really going to have to be on point for INFERNO.
Golden Eagle Shining Legacy. Potential skirmish taking place here. Golden Eagles need this win. We say that about a lot of rosters. Remember, you go back to map number 1, Golden Eagles got into that skirmish on the bridge. They ended up losing their lives very, very quickly. So a big game is needed for them. And quite honestly, I think they're a team that just needs to step it up in general. They get 14th place. Map number 1 with 0 eliminations. You go to map number 2. They get 4 eliminations. They better their placing. However, they only get 12th place, right? Golden Eagles needs a better performance. They're a team that is a staple when it comes to Titan Series. We know their namesake, but they haven't had the performance that we have seen from them in the past previous Titan Series competitions. But meanwhile, it looks as if the coast is going to be clear. They can kind of take a little bit of a break here. They need it. They lost a player. Shining Legacy might not want to press the issue too far depending on how this goes down, Metal.
Yeah, and with teams like this, sometimes the synergy is off for the season, sometimes it's a bad season, but it never means that they're a bad team. These teams are already absolutely beasts when it comes to the game because they're already in the Titan Series. So I don't expect nothing less from any of these teams. I want to see each one of these teams have their shining moments, and we are slowly, in week 2, starting to see these teams have each of their own shining moments, and I love that. I absolutely love that. Dave hyping up Dauntless all last week. Didn't see a speck of them, not even them riding a horse. And now look at them. Look at them putting in that work. So I want to see more and more of teams that we haven't seen.
Well, we've seen a lot of X-Force. We'll continue to see more of X-Force in the meantime. And players dropped. Aleem, unfortunately, down and out and gone. And Vict has to try and fight himself. I mean, look, X-Force been in this spot. In fact, Vict was just in this very spot in the last map against XYQ of all teams, Dave.
Yeah, Liam, one of the key players as well for the squad, so hopefully they can get the pick up. And, well, it just looks like a complete cluster over here, honestly. We got Ace of Spades, we got XYQ, we got TGames, and even X Factor just a little bit to the north. So we essentially got 5 different teams all stacked on top of each other right here in this particular focal point, and everybody just trying to take each other out here. As XYQ Wing popping out, jumping up with the DBS midair, not able to get a shot off.
And that was a risky push, but he went for it. And Ace of Spades now, the team that we've had our eyes on quite a bit throughout the day, starting from map number 1 into map 2, and now obviously here in map 3, X-Force Pepe just trying anything and everything to stay alive. He's got to be a snake in the grass. He'll turn into a snake in the grass, right? Meanwhile, Ace of Spades are going to try and sniff him out if they possibly can. Still a healthy roster, though. With all 4 players up, they can absolutely take the fight to anyone that they choose to take it to. And X-Force as well, being a 4-stack team. There's a lot of congestion in this area. Just to give an update, though, to Farvoice, they still have Paradise by themselves. Nobody has challenged them. Nobody has moved in or encroached on their positioning. They're still within the zone. I still feel Farvoice is about to have a great game, but things are going to be quiet for them. Meanwhile, for some other rosters like Ace of Spades, it's going to continue to heat up. And for X-Force, when do they decide to attack Metal?
We might be seeing another one of those shotgun clutches from X-Force here. Bebe almost making it happen. The rest of his team coming up to help him. Don't know if this is going to be a win for Ace or X-Force right now. Everybody's got their shotguns out. Everybody's got their nades ready.
Boom!
And
Dave voice pack coming into play, by the way.
yes, yeah, we need that. We need that Dave voice pack.
That's
We definitely
good.
do. Got PB. Next on the list is Dave, all right? Free
Send
point.
the email.
Send the email. Send the
And-
contract. My
You
goodness.
know my other tagline? That's a nice bush. Or top 10 bush. Top 10 bush. It's free point right there. Crawl in a bush for some added context. Yeah.
All right.
Added context.
yeah.
line.
Hey, that's Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades. Here we are. It's Oz. Ooh, let's see if he can get it. That's going to be one nice shot to second around the tree.
He's feeling himself.
He is. He definitely is. And he gets another great shot. Ace of Spades will stay alive by the skin of their teeth. And, Ace of Spades.
GG. 6
Using that push to
eliminations.
their advantage, as you can see there.
GG.
GG. Another line in the voice pack. GG.
Another line in the voice pack. GG, Ace of Spades. Good stuff.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's
I
see
need,
how
like,
far they can go.
you know how they have a no? Like, no. You know, it should be like, no, not my mustache.
We're talking
Not my
scrims.
mustache.
Yeah, that's a good one right there, Dave.
Then we got metal horse on horse. But
Yeah. it's-
NRG, they're out there in the blue zone still. Big chilling, playing this one nice and slow. Ace of Spades, they've been in the mix for a hot minute now. 6 eliminations so far. Here comes
might be their game.
NRG on the bikes. Finally going to be looking to show up here in the mid half of this game on the Vespa. Still going for the heels. And oh, they're playing this one nice and slow. Still 14 teams alive. So this has been probably the slowest game.
Yep.
Surprisingly enough, it is Sanhok, right? The smallest map, but definitely the slowest game this evening when it comes to being in stage 3 with still 14 squads alive here. So it is going to be sweaty. It's going to be a bloodbath once when this next circle does close.
Yes, it is. It's going to be a bloodbath indeed. Bloodbath indeed. SLR, a team that, again, needs to wake up a little bit. They've managed to break into the top 10. They look to go even further. And with their positioning, I think they can do just fine. Straight out of Nepal, though, a deadly roster. I've been becoming a big fan of them. And even now, right, going against Shining Legacy, continually picking them off. It seems like Straight out of Nepal tends to be in the right spot at the right time. For Frankie, unfortunately, he falls. But I still got faith in him. I do. And especially against him going against SLR. I think these are two Titan teams. And anything can happen. And for Kindness, he's a deadly player. He seems to be the tip of the spear. And for Sage, being gate-kept by the pop of blue.
Ooh.
Not going to be an easy spot to get out of. Crusher has been crushed, Dave.
Crusher getting crushed. Great zone for Dauntless. I was looking, unfortunate for Dauntless. They already lost one of their squad mates, but Sage with the bait play in the back line right there, able to get an additional elimination before getting taken out themselves. So I'm looking at Dauntless. I'm looking at 0-2. Two of these squads are pretty much as center as you can get right now in the play zone. 0 eliminations on Dauntless. NRG, they're going to have to make a push to Paradise Resort. As we saw earlier on, we do got Farvoice in Paradise Big Chillin'. So we're going to have some engagements happen now, but big fan of where Dauntless are holding down right now in the new play zone.
Big fan indeed, and a big fan. Look at Ace of Spades, 6 total points, 6 eliminations so far off the back of those early fights. And look at Oz, right? He's the one who's been holding it down. 5 elims for him. Metal, this guy's on a tear.
And those 5 elims are definitely not hard or not easy ones that he came by. Every elim in events like these are always like you are working for it. So this might be Ace of Spades match. I want to see them. But at the same time, you can see there's other teams rotating into this new small circle, so it's going to be really hard for them, especially with all these third and fourth parties, how close all these teams are together. It's going to be super hard for Ace of Spades to come out of this, or not.
Yeah.
Blinky, they still have 3 up, which makes it a little bit hard for them.
Beautiful nade
but
for finish.
It seems like, sometimes losing one member isn't as detrimental as, oh, you're just by yourself. You're the last guy on the team. So they can at least play a little bit aggressive. They can at least play where they're going after elims still. 7 elims on the board. I keep seeing Nate getting knocks.
Yep.
It's kind of crazy because now the action is starting to come.
Ooh, Frady popping up. Frady was slowly crawling his way up, trying to spring the trap, and Oz is going to be quickly caught off guard, trying to get the heal, but pop in the corner. Brady just catching a slug to the dome right there. And I was going to say, Golden Eagles, they have been a squad. They've been a staple in the Titan series here, Reflections, if you can recall. I mean, this squad has been showing up almost every single Titan series, but we haven't really seen much from this team in particular this go around. Yes, this is only day 4. Yes, there's still more time, but the Golden Eagles, you want to hear the caca, we got to start to see some eliminations. We got to start to see some plays happen here, fellas.
All right, well, there's Nate just up ahead alongside that of Farvoice and his roster. INFERNO Esports, a very aggressive team. And Farvoice can take advantage of that by kind of, reeling them in and putting them into the blender, which seems to be the case. They're playing very well as a team. Those choke points are being held down. INFERNO Esports struggling to find an angle. And Farvoice gets a little bit aggressive. Focus, I don't know. I mean, Aukis, I don't know where he's going. INFERNO Esports, though, they get a tit-for-tat trade, but it's not enough. They will fall. Farvoice will at least, I think, lose 1 or 2 players. They'll lose 1 player, excuse me, but they're at 7 elims, so they managed to get 3 more up. That's great for them. They get a team wipe. Paradise, very, very beneficial for them, but now they've got to move out Metal. This is the first time Farvoice has had to leave Paradise since the beginning of Sanhok.
I think what they didn't have to lose their teammate right there. He kind of pushed way too aggressive, and he lost his life because of that. Now we're seeing a fight between X Factor. Shotguns out and everything. X Factor's actually pinned between 2 teams right now, so now the zone is getting so short that this is just CQB action between all these teams. Look at how many teams are at the edge of zone right now.
Yeah, down
look
to
how many
just
players are here.
Yeah,
guys are last one alive right now, back against the wall, trying to toss out some grenades. We got TGames out here on the west side and SLR on the east side. So 2 separate squads trying to flush out this compound. X Factor down to just a solo. Fortunate for them, though, fellas, he is going to be in the play zone, so he might be able to rat it out just a little longer.
And I want to point out, Farvoice was eliminated by 0-2. They left Paradise. 0-2 mowed them down and punished them as they were trying to get into zone. Farvoice finished off in 9th place with 7 elims. Ace of Spades also down and out. Granted, 10 eliminations. A massive game for them. And as we hop on board with X Factor, they're now gone themselves. Teams are dropping like flies as the zone starts to condense in. There's not a lot of hard cover, and if there is hard cover, you see fights like this, right? TGames versus SLR. Super Lazy Reflex, they have left the hill, they've left the forest, and they are now into the buildings. But how is their CQC game? Is it enough to take down TQ? Well, at the moment, it seems like it is. And SLR, they're now on the hunt. They're getting aggressive. Dave, they're pushing in.
Yeah, SLR definitely have the most experience when it comes to shotgun play.
Nice.
Big right there. With the support from his squad mate Kindness, just clutching it out. Sour, the last one alive now for the squad of TGames Esports, and you are out of here eliminated. SLR so good when it comes to the close combat shotgun engagements right there. And honestly, that play opened up the rotation for Baton from 0-2 to make their approach into the play zone. Will they survive, though? That's the question, because Nepal has their sight lines locked on them, and there goes Baton. So 0-2 also eliminated. SLR going to be in the south, Dauntless in their compound over here, Nepal up there in the north, and iNCO all the way at the tip of this play zone.
Man, the rotations have been brutal. Absolutely brutal. You see plays like SLR just a little bit earlier winning a great engagement, then they push through, and now they've got straight out of Nepal gatekeeping them. Now, the good news is, though, still alive with 2 players, 8 eliminations, a big game, a much needed big game to jump up that leaderboard for SLR. How far can they go? Well, it's up to them. Right now, the healthiest team's iNCO Gaming with 4 players, straight out of Nepal, sitting at 3, and Dauntless at 3-2. Dauntless could have back-to-back massive games and a top 3 performance for the first time today, which would be huge, especially right for Dave, who's been supporting them since the very beginning. They're in the center zone. Everybody else has to break into them. For SLR, Metal, I'm looking at them. I don't see how they could break into the next zone.
If another team takes it away from SLR, they could break into zone. I feel like this could be anyone's game, but it definitely is looking on the side of Dauntless, especially with how good their center of zone is.
Yeah.
And they're already, there they go. They're picking off SLR.
Yeah.
SLR still not out of it. We've seen solos clutch it today. Today might be the solo clutch day.
It's Kindness, it could.
Yeah. If Kindness can, well, here comes zone.
Yeah, here comes zone. I think he's going to go ahead and finish himself off, deny the elimination. Actually, the med pack will pop, though. But he can't go anywhere. He's not going to get that. So straight out of Nepal, iNCO, Dauntless, the remaining 3 who's going to be fighting it out, and already they're getting mixy. iNCO onto straight out of Nepal, and members are starting to fall on both ends. Dauntless also getting them, and I think Dauntless are set up for a nice win here, Dave.
Yeah, I was really looking for iNCO on their high ground to take advantage and keep Dauntless at bay, but it does look like iNCO trying to take the fight here with straight out of Nepal. 7 going to be crawling up, then grenade range, tossing some Molotovs, trying to get that spread with the molly to get another knock. And Dauntless still going to be in their compounds down here, using the high ground to their advantage, trying to clear out straight out of Nepal. But now here comes the push, the wraparound from Dauntless. That will be the game-winning play as iNCO, they are just tunnel vision right now straight out of Nepal.
7 was a snake in the grass a little bit earlier. Now he's on his feet, and he's looking to get the finishes. Straight up ahead. He's got to watch out for the coverage on the car, though. DBS out. He's going to manage to at least get a couple of chip damage. He's got his teammate just to his right side. Straight out of Nepal will finish off in 3rd. And now it's down between iNCO and Dauntless. And iNCO are running thin. Dauntless on the attack, and Dauntless will take game number 3. They've been on fire today. The fire has yet to be extinguished. They're jumping up the leaderboard. They'll get 10 points for the win, 8 points for the eliminations for an 18-point game around there. Dave, Dauntless on fire.
Yes, sir. Now you guys are believing me. About time. Like, this guy knows what he's talking about. But honestly, I feel like iNCO, they could have been the winner, chicken dinner winners of this game, but instead they decided to push out east onto straight out of Nepal. If they were to prioritize on the compound with Dauntless, tossed in some Molotovs, tossed in some grenades, pre-fire those windows, I could see Dauntless being eliminated there, right? And iNCO taking the win, especially because iNCO, they were the only team with all 4 alive, so they had the numbers advantage right there at the end with the high ground. But shout out to iNCO, I mean, making that push, wrapping around, taking out straight out of Nepal, and really just opening up this match for a free win for Dauntless, who have been big chilling for a hot minute in that compound, playing for that late game.
Well, Ace of Spades on your screen. Going back to Oz, Metal, he had such a standout game. He was incredible. Ace of Spades picks up 10. Oz picks up 6 for himself.
Honestly, if a lot of these teams Did not get the best placement, but they are getting a lot of elim points like Ace of Spades. I think that could have been a really, really solid game for them or Farvoice Gaming. They had really good momentum throughout this entire match, but they just weren't able to make it to that end zone. And Dauntless played the patience game, get those 10 points on the leaderboards for them, plus the 8 elims. Solid game for them. I'm loving seeing so many teams we did not see put out work last week, put in work this week. Clearly their synergy and everything is kind of getting together. They're getting used to the teams that they're playing against. And it's really great to see stuff like that.
All right, Dauntless up at 18. Good game for them, man. Incredible game, truly. With the score being as close as it already is, that could jump them up the leaderboard quite a bit. And the same thing goes for iNCO, who's been trying to catch up to 0-2. Granted, they won't catch them here, but they're still making headway up to catching up to first place. Again, top 10 is the goal, but it makes you even stronger with the bonus points going in to the finals. More on the bonus points going into next week. But SLR gets a much-needed big game, Dave. They get 12 total points for themselves. They just got gate kept. They got put into a tough spot, right? They couldn't break in, and but fourth place, they'll take that to the bank.
Yeah, SLR, I mean, when we're looking at teams in this lobby as a whole, SLR are definitely one of the stronger teams when it comes to just like straight up team fights, 4v4, 4v3, 3v3, like straight up close quarter combat team fights. There's no third party, there's no fourth party, it's just gun skill. SLR, they're definitely one of the heavy contenders when it comes to that. So I am happy to see them get these 8 eliminations. Dauntless getting 8 eliminations. And remember, Dauntless, top 10. That's all we need. Top 10. Make that next round number 1, baby. Then we can take that money and buy 3 horses,
Three.
Because they average about 3,000 a pop. All right, depending on breed and pedigree.
Well,
Titan Series fact.
Titan Series, hey, you learn a lot more than just PUBG Mobile stats. You get it all from the casual perspective, mixed in with esports and metal. Now you're getting your horse knowledge in, and you got your free voice packs. Hey, shout out to Dave. He's bringing into the action today. Farvoice, Dauntless are tied in 4th and 5th, but Ace of Spades back there with just 1 point, right? 97. SLR hot on the hills. That's going to be the narrative all the way through. But the question is, Dauntless going into the final game, top 3, absolutely possible. But here we are. Now things start to get scary, right, Meadow? Because we're heading into the final game, and if it's anything like last week, X Factor is about to go off.
Yeah, I feel like X Factor and Maryland are in the perfect situation for themselves to push them up on the leaderboards with how close they are and how close the standings are. First place, it's pretty far away, but the standings between, I would say, 3rd and 9th, they're just so close. So it could be anybody's game. But the fact that Maryland really messed up their match at the very beginning there, it kind of screwed their momentum. And as you can see, they moved nowhere. They did nothing. But if they did have a good game, they could have moved really far up on the leaderboards with how close these points differences are between all these other teams.
Well, the good news is they're still close, right? There's still a chance with one more game to go. We hop back into Erangel, and if we're talking about Maryland, if they pick up where they left off on Erangel, that means a winner chicken dinner with 4 eliminations. Maybe they get more. So they're looking pretty good going into the final game of the day. Speaking of which, first and foremost, make sure you follow us on socials if you haven't already. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We still have one more game to go for week number 2 of the Titan Series Season 6 Premier Division. Who's going to take it? Get loud and proud for your team in chat. I want to see it. I want to see that support. Erangel coming your way after the break. Welcome back, everyone, to the Titan Series 6, Season 6, Premier Division, Week 2. I'm Taylor Reflections Double, joined by Mustache Dave and Medalcore. We're going into our final game of the day, hopping back into Erangel. Metal, again, X Factor. I'm looking at them. I want to see another 21 elimination game to finish off the day. They're at 80-something now. That'll put them up to, honestly, close to second place. But there's a lot of rosters other than just X Factor, right? I mean, we're looking at, I think, at least 6 or 7 teams that could do the same thing X Factor did last week and place top 2.
Well, we keep on doubting the top placements like 0-2, where they are pretty far ahead, but we keep saying, oh, these other teams are going to be pushing. If 0-2 has a good game, those teams aren't going to be pushing anywhere. But if 0-2 continues to not have consistent good games, yeah, those teams like X Factor, who is so far behind them on the leaderboards, can quickly push up with just one good match.
Quickly indeed. And I'm really hoping we get an Erangel like we did in Map 1, Dave, because that Erangel was incredible. It set the precedence for what the entire day really has brought. I don't think there's been a bad map so far.
Surprisingly, that Sanhok was the slowest game, right? Being the smallest map, you would never guess. But yeah, Erangel, straight out the oven. It was hot, it was spicy, and there was nonstop action. So looking forward to seeing who will come out on top of our final map of the evening. By the way, I saw somebody say they want to call you two the Scrim Boys, Medalcore and Reflections. Is that cool? We'll call you the Scrim Boys because you guys love scrims in Maryland.
They want to call me. They want to call us the Scrim Boys.
The Scrim Boys, yeah, not me. I'm the Dauntless guy.
Who's calling for that? I've literally seen nothing.
Scrim Boys. So
yeah, did someone just private message you, bro? Like, what are you talking about?
Maryland getting wiped out last game.
Whoa!
I don't think it's gonna happen again. But so they got one winner chicken dinner night, sure. But hey, I guess we'll see you guys in scrims. Keep doing you, right?
Okay, Dave, why are you picking a fight with Maryland? Of all, you coming in hot on Maryland. Shut Dave up, man. Right here, man. Map number 4. And mind you, Maryland's top 10. Okay? Maryland's top 10, baby. Those scrims are paying off. They're going to continue to get better. No, we're not Scrim Boys, Metal. I don't even know who's calling for that, and I think Dave made it up.
Dave constantly makes stuff up. I mean, for the first week, he was making stuff up about Dauntless, and it took them to the second week.
Though.
Oh, no. He was right this week. Last week, they were nowhere to be seen. So, but it's anyone's game at this point. It still is, especially with people who have the teams that are in the 80-point range. It is anybody's game. Those lower teams, they're going to have solid match after match after match where they're scoring. I mean, we haven't seen a 20-point game yet. Not once for this entire day of games. So I hope we see a 20-point game in today's match, especially with Maryland.
Look
at that VSS action and Revolver. If he would have been putting in VSS Revolver, yeah, Maryland's my top team if they did that.
They could still do it. Still do it, man. Maryland, keep the dream alive, baby. Keep the dream alive. Looking at the zone, going to be on the right side. We will not see a military end zone like we did at game number 1, which means those bridges are going to be relatively free. We shouldn't see too many engagements there. Maybe the right bridge. And if that's going to be the case, that'll be Dauntless potentially against Straight Outta Nepal, which that would be a big battle. Dauntless and Straight Outta Nepal have been on fire today. But for the most part, it's going to be on the right side, which, benefits Shining Legacy, benefits other rosters such as 0-2, and that's a big one for 0-2 to maintain first place. They're in a great spot over on the right side. Lipovka, they can absolutely have a big pop-off game here. Dave, who else are you looking out for?
I'm vibing, man. This music is the best $40 ever spent. That's my jam right there. The music in the Titan series has been on point. So shout out to the DJ DJing here tonight. But going back to your question, yeah, 0-2. They got Lipovka. They're going to be big chilling out here. Crow in prison. So a little 3-1 split action happening right now. But I'm not too concerned considering we got maybe 5 teams in circle number 1, and the rest of the lobby, for the most part, are going to be on that west side.
There we go.
Looking ahead.
Yes.
Becker, pulling out the horse here, doing it for Medalcore.
This is why I love Maryland. Look at them go. Oh, no.
Look at them go.
Oh, wait a second. He's ditching the horse. No, never mind. Sorry, Maryland. You're not winning this match. I don't know
He
why.
might pick it back up. Why not?
Yeah, why
I
would he
mean,
ditch
like,
it?
he's ditching the horse
Nah.
He wants a
for the
car.
Murado.
Nah, not like this.
Not like, oh,
Goodbye,
well, it is a
horse.
bit cooler. I mean, come on. You see that top
What?
go up? I would take
Yeah, I
that
mean-
over the horse.
What?
I'll be honest. Come on. I'm sorry.
That poor horse. Now it's without a home.
Well, it'll,
Only
as we know, they
$3.99,
like
you
to
could
roam.
adopt the horse.
It's going to roam to the pasture. Go to, oh no, this is sad.
It's gonna roam in the garage. Oh, look at it! It's
Actually-
roaming. There it is. I told you.
Instant replay.
We are not.
Oh yes, yes.
No.
This is
Top 10
epic.
plays.
Dauntless had the best clip. No, Maryland with the best clip right there. in the Titan
Klaus,
series.
move aside. Oh, here we go. And an actual clip, maybe developing. Bebe's already down. Toyota, Kid Mixie, making it happen. No
Oh,
Ford Focus
What
here.
just happened
man.
there?
Somebody
Oh,
send in-
Toyota, no! Okay,
Oh
Hey, we're
yes,
back, baby.
break away from the fight. Let's go to the horse.
The horse is gonna third party right now. Get it, Elim himself.
Tell you
You
what.
think all they do is eat hay? No, bro. Look at
Yo, it cleared that mountain like Usain Bolt. Come on. Aleem's
what?
moving in.
this. Oh,
Leans-
okay.
X-Force.
I didn't know what was going on here.
There's a lot going on,
Esports.
baby. Esports.
I thought we were just watching, horse cam.
That's right. Well,
Clearly that's a
and
thing
we
now.
never got to play the replay package for you, by the way. I guess we're gonna have to save that for week 3.
Cue it up. Cue it up.
Cue it up
Nah.
right now.
Right now.
No,
Cue it
don't ditch
live.
the horse. Look at them. Look at it go. It's just like, I guess I'll just eat some food. Yes, baby. You know what to do.
That thing does zoom.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
And it will still zoom if he wants to go on the back of it and shoot. It's the only
Yeah.
vehicle in the game where it will still run. It's like you have to do a couple things. You think you have to get it at full speed. You switch to the back seat. It just runs straight, but it keeps running. So it's one of the few vehicles that just keeps going. You know, if you're trying to get those crazy horse clutch moments.
Yeah.
I'm hyping up the horse so much. One of these days, even if I'm not here for the Titan series, one of these days we're going to see a horse clutch.
Medical.
And,
Goodbye to the horse.
Horse
A,
clutch.
a
Instant
McLaren
replay.
branded saddle for the horse. Okay.
That'd
Oh,
be
You know,
yeah.
just
That'd be
let's
nice.
set it to the next level. The next level without question. All right. Well, X-Force is off to a good start.
stuff.
They got that third party in yet. They're looking good. I'm liking it. X-Force needs a relatively strong finish, and I absolutely believe they can do so. Meanwhile, that zone is starting to get a bit more congested, as you would expect here. Still, everybody relatively far away from fighting it out. So I think there's gonna be a lot of scouting, some slow moments. In which case, Metal, I actually give you the floor because you're coming on as a content creator, but obviously you're esports, you have a tremendous passion for esports, and I don't know, give you a chance to not only talk to our audience here, but your audience as well.
Yeah, what's up, chat? This is kind of weird because I'm not normally in this situation where I'm casting over some gameplay. I've always told my viewers that I hated custom rooms because I wasn't able to play in them. But these are the ones that I definitely don't want to play in because you can see how insane these players are. I mean, they're lasering enemies out of vehicles. They're doing things that you don't see in my normal streams. But that's the reason why I kind of love being a part of these, and I jump on any opportunity to be a part of these. I think the last time I did some casting was for a female league with, I think it might have been Shredder or Red Eyes, but it's amazing to see how far mobile gaming and esports has come, and I want to continue to see that, both mobile gaming and esports. I've been to a couple LAN events myself, and I know the pressure that these players really have. Even in just a tournament like this, the pressure is immense. They are practicing consistently. This is, their second job or whatever. So I love seeing the effort that these teams put in, and I love seeing how big the esports scene for PUBG Mobile has gotten. And like I said last week, and huge props to Titan Series for this, for also having a female league, because, the girls can play with the boys, especially when it comes to esports. I don't know if any of you guys have casted any of those, but I'm surprised because all those girls are better than me at the game, and I love that. We need the inclusivity for not only any mobile gamer, whether these guys are playing on a tablet, gyroscope on their phone, whether they're playing on a phone that's old, their phone that's new, these players have perfected their craft, and I want to see them continue perfect that craft with these. Like we heard earlier, there's a $4,500 scrim league going on, and this is a $20,000 tournament, and it's just like, it's not part of the main thing that PUBG Mobile is doing. These are just like extras, and I love to see that, because this is exactly what the esports scene needs. And to my viewers, if you guys want to get involved, I pinned a comment that has the Titan Series link, and they have a whole website dedicated to the teams, dedicated to what the Titan Series is. I remember seeing it from the very beginning. Like Reflection said at the very beginning, he said, I've been here from for a long time, since you said you casted 8 months of the Titan Series,
I think, right?
Yeah, back in the back in the old days.
I casted 8 months in the Titan series, for free, because I believed in the program. Dave's been casting for 7 years, 4 years when it comes to PUBG Mobile. I've only been casting PUBG Mobile, hosting PUBG Mobile for going on 2 years now, but I've been around since 2012. But PUBG Mobile is a special game, man, and Titan series is really kind of brought the Americas region together and gave them a platform, both men and women.
Yes. And seeing teams like 0-2 make a name for themselves, or seeing familiar faces that I've seen for a really long time. Like Dave said, we see teams and players that have been in this community for a really long time, not just in the Titan series, but even before that. Whether they've changed teams over and over again, that's just the way of the game. But it's great to see this. I love seeing stuff like this. It just makes me happy. It makes my, I could never do stuff like this. I'm not as good as these guys, and it makes my little gamer heart happy to see and learn from the best of the best. So to my viewers and to everybody watching, big respect to not only, these esports players, but everybody behind the scenes, the production team, the casters. Everybody's putting in so much work, because we absolutely love this. And I'm so proud, to see stuff like this after 7 years of this game being out. So yeah. Anyways, let's get back to the game. I just wanted to give my love.
Big respect. Shout out to Medalcore out there. And of course, shout out to the observers, like Metal said, Mr. Flip, T-Mags, Red Eyes, and Cleaner the Director. Shout out to those guys keeping the show running and, making it what it is. So getting into the action though here, fellas, Shining Legacy getting picked to pieces out here in the trenches up against the Golden Eagles. Golden Eagles, a team that I've been looking to make some moves happen here tonight. Looks like X-Force tried third party in this one. Golden Eagles finally getting some eliminations on the board. As I say that, the third party from a limb from downtown going to be catching one of the Eagles, Moso, off guard.
Tell you what, a limb, he's been a nuisance today. You think you're in a safe position, you think the fight is over, and then a limb, he rolls up and makes things interesting. I also saw Vic down low for X-Force, being a snake in the grass, which he's done several times, and honestly, to great success. But for X-Force, they may not have the high ground. They might just have a little bit of, a dip in elevation, but it's enough for them to be put into the grave, or at least a couple of them. So for X-Force, they're going to have to play this appropriately. Golden Eagles, though, maintain their life. Good on them. Surprisingly, all 16 teams still alive. We've yet to lose an entire team, and which is really night and day compared to game number 1, where we were losing players and teams like flies. But I think we might be having an early exit from Golden Eagles. A great nade. Legend, the last one alive, trying to carry the torch for the Golden Eagles, and, well, he's a bit surrounded. You got Shining Legacy, you've got another roster, or iNCO, who's also just up ahead, and for Legend, I don't know if he's going to be able to make it happen. Luckily, he's got the bunker. If nobody pushes him, Golden Eagles, they live.
Yeah, Brady crawling down here in the bunker to safety. Looks like we might be getting the pickup over here, but iNCO showing up. Crush, kaboom, with the shotgun slug, swapping to the Scar 4 times. Scope action right there. iNCO getting some additional eliminations.
Dirty play, man, because Crush, he gave Golden Eagles just enough hope, Metal, right? Gave them the time to res. They thought, okay, we can actually make it out of this, and as soon as the res went off, Crush was there to crush the dreams.
I'm surprised that we're seeing so much action in this section of the map. And that's why, like, going back, I love esports. We're seeing fights that we normally never see. And we're seeing pushes now. I feel like these teams are getting a little bit more used to each other and are being way more aggressive week 2 than they were in week 1.
Getting a little bit more confident, maybe, you know, felt out their competition. They're more comfortable when it comes to being on the broadcast, streaming. You know, there's a little bit of jitters and nerves, shaky hand syndrome, right? Whenever you're not used to being broadcasted and casted over, regardless of the audience, it's just get that red light fever. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but I think in week 2, everybody's starting to kind of settle in. Crush has been a nuisance up here on the top bunker, and now with Shining Legacy going, where Golden Eagles were just finished off, Crusher is looking to potentially end them. We'll see if they can do it, Dave.
Yeah, it looks like iNCO. You can tell they're playing with vengeance here. They're pissed that they kind of threw that last game where they could have easily got that winner chicken dinner. They went for the eliminations instead of the win. Come into match number 4, they're being proactive. They're taking out their opponents, making sure to clear their backsides before pushing forward. Already with 4 eliminations. So iNCO setting up for a nice game for probably high placements and maybe even a win. I mean, just kind of looking at how they're bouncing off of zone to zone this game. They are posed. They are posed for a winner chicken dinner. I feel it.
All right. I hope they get it, man. If you feel it, I feel it too, brother.
Feel it.
You feel it, I feel it too.
Next zone doesn't feel it, though.
Well, you got a sixth sense about these things, man. So when you say stuff like that, I start to listen. I've become quite a believer, though. That zone, though, it's a bit weird.
Zone doesn't feel it.
Zone doesn't feel
Another
it.
voice line.
Hey, flip it, ship it, baby. Send the contract. I'm ready. I'll buy it. I'll buy it for sure.
Look at NRG, though. NRG going to be pushing to the north. Instead of sending it to the beach, they're actually going to be looking to take the fight up against iNCO. Yeah, very interesting push right now for NRG. Oh, a lot of road rage happening out here as well. Everybody just fighting for position in the new circle.
And Maryland, unfortunately, will lose one player as they look to be in a little bit of trouble at the moment. And now things are starting to get a bit chaotic. You know, for the longest time, 16 players are remaining throughout 3 complete stages. Now in stage 4, we've lost quite a few. X-Force, SL Ace, as well as Golden Eagles. And Scottish on your screen, always great to watch him for Farvoice. They had a bit of an early exit last game. I expected them to have a great game on Sanhok. They had Paradise locked down for the longest time, but it was 0-2 who took them down. This time, Farvoice, well, they want to go even further. And 0-2 is right there. They could potentially get revenge in this moment, Metal.
Yeah, if 0-2 gets eliminated early again with very little points, this could be really, really bad for them. They have a huge lead, but they keep on having bad games, and that huge lead could be taken away from them very quickly. Quickly
indeed. Here's that iNCO fight you mentioned a little bit earlier. Of course, it was against NRG, and 24K is finished off. NRG now in dire straits as 2 players are down, only 2 more remaining. iNCO roaming the area, and you will have INFERNO, who's going to be just up ahead, a very aggressive roster, and wouldn't surprise me if they push straight into Gary and, well, the entirety of iNCO, Dave.
Yeah. Oh, Gary on the hill top right now. Needs to avoid getting ran over. Needs to avoid these grenades. Pika cooking one down below. Gary also getting third party from long range, but Gary's squad mates trying to get the alternate angle. Looks like Pika just putting in a lot of work in the front lines, and there goes the final member of iNCO, taken out from INFERNO Esports, and the help, of course, from the third party from downtown. But INFERNO still alive, fellas. 2 eliminations here. They should be able to get both pickups as well.
That'd be good for them. That means they will be at a 3 stack, which is going to be great because, well, there's only a handful of rosters. Super Lazy Reflex, TGames, and XYQ who are sitting at 4 for the most part, though 3 is going to be very, very strong. NRG, I thought, was going to be in a bit more dire straits, but they seem relatively healthy. Granted, I say that straight out of Nepal, though, from a distance, is putting the pressure on them, Metal.
Yeah, straight out of Nepal is really good at applying pressure. They're a solid team that I feel like they do consistent, but we haven't seen any huge games from them. I also want to add that Ace of Spades and iNCO getting eliminated pretty early on is going to be pretty hard to see what happens on the leaderboard for those teams. I was really rooting for Ace of Spades, especially after they were doing pretty good. But again, I feel like this could be anyone's game. And especially with this new zone shift, this is a zone that has very little buildings, especially on Erangel. We've got partial water, partial cliffs. I know some of those cliffs you can't just get up. So if any of those teams end up near those cliffs, they might be stuck.
But can a horse get up those cliffs, Metal?
A horse can do anything in this game.
There you go.
A horse can do anything in this game.
That's all
I believe
you need.
in the horse.
With a horse, nothing is impossible. Remember that, guys. You got it. You got a math test coming up. Buy a horse. As we found out earlier from Dave, $3,000. Buy you a horse. On average, excuse me. On average, sometimes you get them cheaper. Sometimes they're more.
the cost of care, which is the real, payday right there. But
now, if you want to go to Kentucky Derby, though, it might be more than 3,000. Might be more than 3,000.
Without doubt. XYQ looking to breach some compounds. XYQ had one good game here tonight. They were looking pretty good. Besides that, not a lot of flame, but let's see what they can accomplish here. They are going to be working together as a unit, as a squad, trying to flush out Farvoice Gaming, who are somewhat separated. It looks like Farvoice has a member on the rooftop right now of where XYQ are currently holding down. XYQ, a full squad. Scottish looking for the off angle, the surprise factor over here. Looks like that squad mate not looking to stay on top of that rooftop. So both of these teams going to be right there on the edge of the play zone out here on the east side.
Nice.
And, Valak. Ooh, got caught slipping right there.
That's a great angle.
Great angle indeed. Now Farvoice, I think they push up in this moment. They've got that first knock. You got to take advantage of this. When you get that first knock, you've got the man advantage. This is where you apply the pressure. Wing has no choice but to try and go up top now, and all three are going to kind of bunker in. I've seen this play out time in and time again. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Do you wall pack up the same stairway? Well, now you got to watch out for potentially a third, or should be Trick. XYQ on the outside. Farvoice wasn't ready for this, and Scottish is Trick with the nade out. Doesn't fall, it doesn't. Scottish takes him, and maybe there's a chance. Scottish looking to go off. That's going to be now 2 down. And what XYQ I thought had an advantage now turns into a disadvantage. They're getting wiped off the map. And Valak is now the saving grace for this XYQ roster who looks so healthy and is now in dire straits. Dave, can Valak get the job done?
I don't know. Our boy Scottish is just steamrolling them down right now. Scottish with 3 eliminations. Valak, no meds, back against the wall. No Molotovs, no smokes, no grenades. Not a lot of health to work with as well. Scottish looking for the squad wipe here, boys. This could be it.
Man.
We keep on seeing 3 pieces from these teams. Nobody gets to finish off that 4th. But every time we see these 3 pieces from these just solo players putting in work, they're crazy. Like, it's some crazy action we're getting. So, shout out to Scottish there. The French Scottishman.
French Scottishman, exactly.
Scottish, man.
All right, Coops, 1v1 against straight out of Nepal. I believe that's Blast up ahead. Coops filling himself, trying to bait out that nade, sees it, rotates, another angle. DBS is out, maybe a chance. Blasto hits some great damage. Coops holds his ground, and Coops will win that fight. Straight out of Nepal is out of there, Dave.
See ya, Straight Out of Nepal. Last game, Straight Out of Nepal, they put in some work. They got some elimination, so they at least had a solid game here tonight. This is going to be game number 4, the final match of the evening. The 4th day in the entire Premier Division. Remember, top 10 make it to that next round. We're going to have next week as well. Valak's still alive, so I almost feel like they forgot that there's another squad mate in the general area. Hello, but Scottish going to be in the front lines at the roadside, looking ahead, looking inwards over here. And talking about solos, Pika, big chillin'. Like I said, top 10 Bush. NA right there. They don't know he's here. Going to be overlooking SLR and TGames, little skirmish happening over here. Pika probably not going to move though. Probably not going to move. Just try to survive a little longer as we have 7 teams remaining here, guys.
Metal, look at this. This is just a hodgepodge of teams. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself as a casual player, there's no way I'd make it out of this alive.
See that horse in the distance? That horse is making it out alive.
I do. I was like, yo.
Where?
Look at it go.
Where?
No, I love to the right, in the middle. But I do love what Pika is doing. He's using that huge TPP peak of the vehicle to keep an eye on everything that's going on because he is a solo player. But at the same time, nobody knows that he's in that vehicle. So unless he starts getting, just like fired and lasered on, I feel like that's a good position for him, especially as a solo player. And once again, we keep seeing solo players put in work. So let's see if Pika or Coops can do something here.
Ooh, Coops, right? Ooh. Coops, a star-studded player. Love watching him compete. Just like Pika, I also want to see Coops go far, like you said, man, because these solo players have been incredible, but these solo players are going against a wall of people, Dave. Yeah. I mean, right? 3 players on 0-2. Full Force has, what, 3? And then you also have SLR, TG. It's both with 4 players themselves. Like, these solo players have it out for them.
0-2. Safe. Can't touch me. Coop's going to be in the next play zone right now for the time being. Oh, but Baton. Oh, we're going for a challenge. So Baton has his squad mates on the high ground providing support. Going to allow Baton to really maneuver in the situation here. Got a nice little grenade. Coops not able to go for the heal, trying to take some shots at the Guardian Angel Capri's down range, but that was just a beautiful play from 0-2 right there. Well thought out, calculated. Should be able to pick up Crow, but there goes Coops.
No, 0-2, you notice they'll take the outskirts. They were setting up for what the old zone was, obviously getting back up their player, but now they're going to have to work their way in. They still have the dead zone map. They're poised for a deep run in this game. They've already made a deep run in top 4, but I think they're going to go for gold. I really do. I think 0-2, this is their game to make it happen, especially with these these fights taking place. I mean, Metal, you look at SLR, right? They're going against TG just up ahead. These teams are going to cannibalize each other. 0-2 are going to be happy to kind of stay to the wayside and waiting to get the winner chicken dinner.
I mean, I've been hyping up 0-2 all day long, and I want to see them, I want to see them win. Especially, like you said, these teams are cannibalizing each other, but 0-2 might come in for the third party. Malkin turning on one of those 0-2 members. SLR now eliminated, so we're now down to our top 3 teams.
Got him.
Nice.
Got him. Zero two, kind of crumbling right now, fellas. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, don't call it too early.
Stating the obvious, right?
I want to see 0-2 finish strong, man.
Me too.
I need. It's like I look at the stats. I'm like, oh, they won a game, but off broadcast. It's like, but it's elusive. It's like, can they win it on broadcast? Are they actually winning games off broadcast?
Like a chupacabra.
Yeah, you can't see it. It's like you heard the legends, right? But is it real?
Can we see the legends?
Can we see the legends?
So they did get Baton back up, so we might be able to see it happen here, fellas. Especially with Vizan out here just doing donuts, really baiting TGames over there, just shredding them down. So we're gonna have a straight up 3v3 here in the final game of the evening. Doesn't get any better than this. Get your popcorn ready. This is going to be the final showdown of the evening out here. Got the hovercraft out of all the vehicles too. I mean, I have never seen a hovercraft run over. That's something I would like to see.
Oh,
let's see it right here.
Right here. My bucket list.
Doesn't have good maneuverability on land, let's be honest. Oh, he's stuck! Capri's out! He's pincered! Oh, what a collapse that was. Now 0-2 has to go at it with just 2 players, but the good news is, Metal, right? Everybody has 2 players. I guess TGames has 3, but, I mean, everybody's kind of in a rough spot, so 0-2 can still win this.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy thing, the vehicle he just drove in on, you can't shoot out the side, so he was in a really, really disadvantage. Once you're in that vehicle, you're locked in. So he was trying to make a play. He got stuck. It didn't work out for him. Let's see what 0-2 can do. It's now a 2v1v3. This is going to be a tough one. This is a weird zone.
Yeah.
I think everybody's resetting right now. It's very quiet for it being end game. Everybody's kind of giving themselves a chance to... And Farvoice, we've seen them clutch it up as a solo before. Can they clutch it up and get a win in this situation?
I want to shout out TGames, by the way. 10 eliminations, the healthiest in the lobby.
Massive.
They finished yesterday off broadcast with the winner chicken dinner as well. So they're looking to go back-to-back days with the win on Erangel map number 4, and that would be their second win total throughout the Titan series. So incredible stuff. And talk about a come up. I did see support earlier for TGames in the chat, so I know the fans have to be happy for the performance here, and I'm sure they can finish off here with a win. I've been saying that, and I've been wrong every time. But I do hope, I think they're in a great spot to get this win.
You've been saying that. I heard you say that. You sent me a DM saying that too, so you've been writing it as well.
Yep. Where's Dauntless? Where's Dauntless, Dave?
Dauntless.
Where are they at right now?
They're going to be rolling by your house with 3 horses at the end of the season. Hopefully you got some hay
bow
out
down
front.
to them at that point.
Hey, 10,000 for first, 3,000 for a horse. That's $1,000 for hay. Those horses are eating good as far as I'm
the
concerned.
hay budget out here.
Baton looking to make a move in the open. I thought he was going to push up that hill. Maybe
Final zone. It centers up. Yeah, it centers up. So Baton is in a good position. Crow trying to
shots
with Baton. Crow just lasering across the way. Finally,
go on Baton. He's about to go off.
Yeah, Crow was connected on
he's
though.
About to go off.
He got traded on. He's on the rundown. No! Sour HTTP taking him down and out right there.
But wait a second.
Dude, Vzen, what are we doing? This is a 1v1 situation.
Yeah, get up in there. Here he
going.
goes.
He's got a grenade. He's cooking it. He's tossing it. He's going to miss the mark with number 1. Can we get it with the second grenade? Almost. Another run over? A run over to get the win?
That turn radius is a bit rough. Up close. Hold up. Wait a minute. Something's not right. Farvoice. Oh! Yo, I was feeling it. I was feeling it.
He got him.
Wait. No shot.
He didn't pick up his other teammate. He decided to push.
Now, you want to talk about a collapse. T-Games just burned to the ground. Now, granted, second place, 12 elims. They'll take that to the bank, but it's another one of those. Hey, T-Games got it in the bag, and they don't. Been saying it all night. Just been absolutely wrong. All night metal. What's going on?
All night, we've been seeing solo clutches after solo clutches. You can never dismiss that third party, that Farvoice team member. He waited for that perfect moment, and that perfect moment was after the fight with 0-2. And wow, what a way to finish. What a way to get first place. What a clutch. What a TikTok clip. I'm sure he's happy about that one.
He's got it all, but it really was T-Games giving that up, Dave. Like you said, it's like, dude, there's a solo. Why are we pushing? Why are we making the most of this?
What you got in those boxes, by the way, Medalcore? I see you got 3 PUBG Mobile boxes behind you, man. What you got in the box? We need to have you back so we can see what's in the box. But yeah, going back,
bro.
What's in the box?
What horse? What?
Horse mask, sorry, not a head. A horse mask.
Is it Godfather? What? Are you the Godfather? What is this?
Oh my
goodness. You are out of control.
This is getting wild out here. T-Games losing a game with 12 eliminations. Farvoice is solo coming in clutch. 0-2. Pretty consistent game. Number 4. 7 eliminations going their way. So I think 0-2. This has been, I know we've only had 2 like show broadcast days, but this was their best broadcast day. I think that's safe to say. Dauntless finally on the come up here. About time we started to see some light from Dauntless here.
Oh, they played well. From start to finish, they were great. Even this last game, like Dauntless finishes off in 6 with 2 eliminations. That's better than a lot of rosters. I think consistently, Dauntless was a team at the top. I mean, Coops, great plays. We saw great the play of the tournament until it's deep thrown by Klaus right in the death shack. That was absolutely brilliant. I didn't expect him to, of course Dave did, but I didn't expect him to get out of that shack. But he managed to do it. We've seen some wonderful plays. We really have. Dauntless has been on the come up. And this play from the hovercraft, man, can't get out. T-Games mows him down. But then T-Games blows the ends, man. Walk me through it, Dave.
I got a question for both of you that might actually blow your mind. So hovercrafts, we got it. BRDMs, where are we at? Where are we at with BRDMs, fellas? That's what I want to know. All right. That's a question for the people, the universe out there. But Farvoice Gaming, 17 points coming in clutch. TGames, 16. Second place, 0-2, baby. 12 points totaling. And SLR, Super Lazy Reflex, we got 10 points on the board. I know day one, Super Lazy Reflex, that was your team, Reflections, that you had your eye on here in this tournament.
I did. I want to see them go far. I really do. They're an inconsistent roster. Like, that's the reality of it. But they finished off relatively strong. They were already top 10, which is surprising to me. I want to see them make it to the finals. You know, they're a roster with a lot of LAN experience, and a lot of experience in the Titan series as a whole. Anyways, the 4 members there. So I do want to see them go far, and I want to see how well they can do in the finals. But as of right now, I don't think they're in their final form. They've got to continually improve, and that's what each week is about. 0-2, though. Talk about that lead, Metal. The biggest lead we've seen yet. They maintain first place. They may not be the flashiest team, but they're the most consistent team, clearly, even if we're harsh on them.
You know, yeah, you're right. I think the biggest thing with 0-2 is that they are very consistent. We're not seeing them doing crazy moves like Scottish or like Klaus, but we are seeing them be very consistent with their games. And look at that, Farvoice also getting a huge push on the leaderboards, now in 3rd place. And hey, Dave's Dauntless going in 6th with 102 points.
Hashtag ad.
But you know, look at this too. Ace of Spades, 7th place, 97 points. They've had really bad games back to back, and I think that if they could have had really good games, we could have seen them in the top 3 right now.
Top 3 would have been nice. Top 3 definitely would have been there, and it's still a chance, man. They're playing well, but now let's talk about what is real here. Top 10. An X Factor and NRG Galaxy will round out on the second page, 9th and 10th place. Meanwhile, Maryland, they started off the day in 10th place. They will finish in 11th. Granted, not far behind, 2 points away from breaking back into top 10. But next week is the final week of qualifiers leading into, obviously, the finals, right? So if they don't want to go and play against those talented and hungry challenger teams, Maryland needs to break into top 10, along with X-Force, Golden Eagles, XYQ, Shining Legacy, and INFERNO Esports. But I think the sneakiest team here, believe it or not, Dave, is INFERNO Esports. They're a wild team. They're a wild team. But I think they could sneakily make it into top 10 come next week.
They are a wild team, and really, they are like hot or cold, which is crazy to think because their name's Inferno, right?
Right.
But I'm going to disagree with you on that one just because we got X-Force in 12th, and X-Force have been a lot more consistent here over the last 2 show days when it comes to like team fights and just all around capability to make a play happen, right?
Right.
I know Maryland's still ahead of them, but I'm on the fence with Maryland. I mean, you guys know that I've been talking about all night. X Factor right now, 10th place. Need to see more. Last week, X Factor had a really solid day. Today, not so much, right? So they're right there on the fence. So honestly, next week, 2 more days, right? And then top 10 make that next round. It's going to be a nail biter just because we got NRG in 9th, X Factor in 10th, Maryland 11th. So a lot of teams that we've been seeing some action here tonight and last week from right there on the cusp, right? So it's going to be pretty exciting.
Well, it was a great night. It truly was. One of the best PUBG Mobile tournaments, honestly, days that I've seen in a long time. I mean, even rivaling that PMSL, which we've watched now for 2 seasons, right, for the Americas. Phenomenal job. And a special night, not only because, you know, we had Dave, we had, Medalcore. And Medalcore, by the way, loved your speech, and I love your passion, not only for esports, but content creation, PUBG Mobile Esports, and mobile gaming as a whole. But for AMG, a bit of a win tonight, boys. Their 200th show tonight. This is their official 200 show. Congratulations. Claps in the chat. Give them some hearts because AMG, they're putting in that work. 200 show. And Dave and Metal, you guys were a part of it, right? Which is a beautiful thing. And Metal, I'm gonna go. Dave kind of gave his final thoughts. Now,
Oh, I didn't give my final thoughts. Hold up,
you
buddy.
you talk bad about Maryland. That's your final thoughts. Metal, let's go to you, man. Okay, Dave, what do you want to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, I literally had a note written down for my final thoughts. Are you gonna just like glaze me like that? Like what?
Let me see the note. Let's see it, bro.
My note was Happy Thanksgiving. That was my final thought. So
Oh, okay, that's wholesome.
Wholesome.
Yeah,
That's wholesome.
you never know what you're gonna get out of Dave. That's wholesome.
Never know.
Happy Turkey Day. Gobble, 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 baby. Hey, Metal. Let's go to you after that. I don't know if you can follow that one up, but hey, Metal, it's been great having you over the past 2 weeks. We really do appreciate it, and the horse knowledge is incredible. Your knowledge in general when it comes to PUBG Mobile is incredible. What's your final words as we get out of here?
I think this was the last one that I am on for the Titan series. I just want to say, I love you, Titan series. Have me back, guys, please. No, but in reality, this is awesome. Love seeing this. I can't wait to see what these teams. I'll be in the chat. I'll be watching these teams next Monday. I want to see who ends up qualifying because I've been here for the 2 weeks, and I can't wait to see what ends up happening. And again, the production value for these things are next level. You're thinking about a mobile game, and you look at this, and you're like, is this even mobile gaming? What am I seeing? And again, I'm super happy to be here on 2 days that they had some really good fights, some really good action, some really good moments, and we got to see some horses. So, shout out to the production team for us seeing those some crazy moments and some funny moments. So, thank you guys for having me, and proud to be here for the 200 show.
Well, Metal, next week, make sure to tune in, man. As you said you would, because we're going to probably play that horse package that we got. Okay?
Oh, yes!
We get to play it.
Yes,
we didn't get to play
okay.
it today, but I know you're pumped up for that. It's been a great time, Metal. A pleasure working with you, Dave, of course, as always. Love working with you. A great day, and thank you so much for everybody in the chat. We really appreciate you being here. Make sure you follow us on the socials. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already on this very channel that you're watching. And the reason why is because tomorrow at 7 Eastern Time, it's going to be week number 2 of the Pro Scrims. We're talking about a $4,500 prize pool. All 16 teams that you just saw tonight going to be competing tomorrow, and they're playing for real money, and they're also giving you more PUBG Mobile Esports action. I mean, come on, what is there not to love? Now, as far as the Titan Series Season 6 Premier Division goes, next week, same day, same time, we return for week number 3, the final week of the qualifier, the final chance to break into top 10. Who will it be? Who's moving forward to the finals? And who's going to be having to play against those talented challenger teams? And from what I heard, 80 of them all competing against each other. It's been highly competitive, but all good things must come to an end, and this is one of those good things coming to an end. For myself, Taylor Reflections Double, Mustache Dave, Medalcore, our production crew, and you in chat, thank you for being here. Be here tomorrow for the Pro Scrims. We would love to have you.
Grenades. Nate's going to be going for a follow-up. Has one more in the pocket. Might be able to spot the toes of his opponents. Becker forced to push from behind that rock to avoid that grenade. But look at this. Now they got the grenades from the side of Maryland. And Maryland coming in clutch with a winner chicken dinner.
The outskirts working their way. What do you think? And hold up, we got a horse.
Yes!
Action.
Yes! This is why I love X Factor. Root for them.
0-2 on the outskirts. They're going to want these eliminations. Klaus with a little fadeaway. Free fire through the smokes with the UMP.
Shots.
There goes one. Here comes Caprice with the support. UMP just bullets ringing out in all types of directions. Dauntless aren't going down without a fight.
Klaus isn't. An opportunity to pick up maybe another one. Great shot. He's going to drop a second. The Death Shack. Well, maybe the
gosh!
A third one will also fall.
Not yet, but it was a big play.
Well, here's Sour.
Never doubt a solo.
Never doubt a solo and never doubt Sour. Full sending with the buggy. His last stand here to try and get anything going. And XYQ will hold their ground. He was a snake in the grass a little bit earlier. Now he's on his feet and he's looking to get the finishes. Straight up ahead. He's got to watch out for the coverage on the car, though. DBS out. He's going to manage to at least get a couple of chip damage. He's got his teammate just to his right side. Straight out of Nepal will finish off in third. And now it's down between iNCO and Dauntless. And iNCO are running thin. Dauntless on the attack, and Dauntless will take game number 3.
Another run over? A run over to
that
get the
turn
win?
radius is a bit rough. Up close. Hold up. Wait a minute. Something's not right. Farvoice. Oh! Yo, I was feeling it. I was feeling it.
He got him. Wow.
Wait. No shot.
He didn't pick up his other teammate. He decided to push.